TSLA futures well in positive territory right now with the NQ up over 1%. Likewise with the ES up 0.75%. The Dow lagging behind 0.4 and the Russell 2000 leading to start the morning here with small caps getting a bit of a bid to start the week up 1.1%. Lots to talk about today. Chips in focus as FOXCONN reported a record fourth quarter revenue. Has the likes of NVIDIA, Taiwan Semi, ASML, and some other chip names markedly higher in the morning. IBIT as well, over 1% as crypto knocks on the door of that $100,000 mark again. Palantir also in focus, down to start the morning, getting a bit of a negative note for Morgan Stanley. And Adara, Uber and Lyft in focus for different reasons. Uber with a buyback, but it looks like they're collaborating with other ride-sharing programs here to kind of help things move along.
Yeah, we have the Wall Street Journal reporting that they're looking to basically expand their robotaxi or autonomous driving related services, which is definitely great because we know there were some concerns there. UBER getting hit pretty hard, and we had some Tesla robotaxi related announcements, Waymo related announcements. Now it looks like Uber and Lyft are trying to level that playing field a bit. Also, we have X and Nippon Steel there, US Steel and Nippon Steel, with these lawsuits after their deal got blocked. So Nippon Steel coming in pretty hot there. That's going to be on watch. Fubo and Disney with the potential deals. So it is certainly a very catalyst-heavy Monday morning.
And there will be other names in focus as well. We're not sure exactly which ones. Donald Trump coming out over the weekend and adjusting his tariff plans. A possible shift in strategy. We'll keep tabs on that, and we'll have more information on that for you as the morning goes on. But right now, we got the boys at the big desk. Good morning, guys.
Whoa.
Good morning. Yeah, Fubo on.
Ooh, I was going to say an oldie but a goodie there. We're going to have to look at some Fubo.
I'm going to apologize in advance for the amount of times I will probably say Fubu instead of Fubo today.
That's natural.
So just understand that, Fubo deal with Disney. Usually, look, at the end of the day,
close to finalizing.
But like it's a huge decrease in price. I think for everyone that just wants sports, this will be a good thing for them. But we'll see what happens, man. There's a lot to look at. I love what's going on with the chips. Thank you to Foxconn for their big revenue beats. And then we got CES, which is starting. Jensen going to give a keynote tonight, so that should be a heck of a lot of fun. NVIDIA on the brain. Clearly, Tesla's recovery is more than complete. I mean, what more could you ask for? It's Monday. The Buffalo Bills can somehow lose and still screw the Patriots. It's the greatest feeling in the world.
That was a good one. Yeah. Okay, now they pick fourth. They could have just lost and picked first.
I don't know why. I shouldn't care, but it was fun.
Yeah, and I don't know if Sanders is going to want to go to Tennessee. We're going to see because it goes Tennessee, Cleveland, Giants. So there's going to be Sanders won't last, obviously, to the Giants.
Trades, I think.
Yeah, they're going to be trying to get him. Yeah, Fubo TV. Hey, everybody. Okay, so Palantir with the downgrade. That's going to be the only sort of sour story, I guess, today. But yeah, I really like this Fubo going here. Just looking at this, up 66%. These are the kind of deals that you're looking for, obviously. Nice bottom down there at $1.20. Doesn't matter now, but there it goes. Back into levels. But again, I think we're just going to try to play this momentum, figure out what exactly this deal is all about. Close to finalizing a deal to merge their online TV businesses with Disney, folding Hulu Live Plus TV into Fubo. So just getting all together there. They have the app. They have some install base, obviously. So we'll wait to see where this goes. But I don't know if $4 is in. That seems to be quite a ways away there. So we'll see if Fubo can get to that. And then we can let's just look at the other company here, the parent that's involved here with Disney, down to 111. I remember that when that was at 116 or 117. That was kind of toppy there. Yeah, all right. So back into 111. 110, good bottom there as well. What's up, Randy?
What's up, Randy?
Monday. It is Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were actually just talking about Fubo TV, which probably you're not super interested in. Tesla, why did Tesla not New York come up there? That recovery was back, apparently. I was not here on Friday, but a nice little couple days there. We did break through 400 for a minute, got into 380. Now 422 and right back upside now as Tesla goes. Yeah, I remember when it broke through that 400, I was like, no. That didn't last too long there. That's a nice 10% in 2 days. 420. Rivian Randy, people are calling you in the chat. Shout out to, that's Sebastian. What's up, Sebastian? Wow, Rivian's now 16 and change. We're starting to go back up here on Rivian as well. Wow. Nice little bump up there the last little bit on there on Rivian. That was on Friday. Wow, 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 wow.
Dude, it was yeah. Friday was pretty
$16?
nice. 10.22.
Was that the price you're long at? Oh,
There we go.
Okay. It's a year of 2025. Maybe we get to $20.25.
I think so.
There on Rivian. But all right, yeah. Thanks, Randy, for all of that. We'll watch out for Bitcoin at the bottom, 99.2 right now for BTC, and that's starting to go. Yeah, it looks like here it is on a $100,000 watch right now for crypto. I think it. Are we going to get there? Looking more and more like, whoopsies, more and more like that. We are going to do that. Here's crypto right. I don't know why to get this. I got to get this label off of there. But here it goes right into 99 and change. We did just about a couple hours ago got to 99.9 right there. A famous radio station in many cities, I guess. But right there, 99.9 coming into play. Looks like it wants to break it. If you're going to go back to that 15-minute chart that we always look at with the 200 period moving average, you can see basically where we crossed it, back it down into there, 93, 94,000. We haven't seen much of a dip in except for right there. So maybe you're out in and around 97 and now waiting for a pullback into the 200 one more time, which would be about 98, 250. So yeah, it looks like it's a nice little recovery there. I did sell, I bought some Dogecoin at 33 and sold some at 39. So I am trying to get in and out a little bit of some of those coins and then ultimately trying to stay long the big guy there. But there's Rivian up on the board.
Yeah, it was a wild one on, look, Friday, it wasn't just, Tesla was impressive, NVIDIA was great, but Rivian definitely.
Bananas now.
It certainly defied expectations. That's probably the best way to put it in the morning. I don't think anybody saw that one coming. Once Tesla got going, it was certainly a good runner, and obviously the breakout in the afternoon was good too, but wow, you can't take anything away from this, and it's even got a bit of a double top in here today worth watching. So, I definitely like what's going on here. Tesla was a rocket ship once.
Wow,
I love the fact that it's filled in the gap, but it was 400 breakout that just went absolutely ham. It was a 390 earlier. It was at 380. You basically got how many even dollar breaks you can get every $10 in a single day? Well, the first one was a hold at that 380. So I think that makes it pretty kind of simple today because there's the 410 and there's the 420 on the way to what's already been a V-shaped recovery. We were just talking about deliveries 2 days ago, and now all of a sudden it doesn't matter. You've cleared out that zone. It'd be great if you could get a dip buy back at those prior levels, but hey, who cares? Sometimes you just got to buy high, sell higher. Tesla rocket ship, Rivian rocket ship, and don't worry, there's some small cappers out there. In addition to Fubo, there's this ARBE, which is flying around here. Obi messaged me about that one this morning, so a lot to watch as we go back to the desk.
All right, guys, let's talk about X and Nippon Steel's acquisition being blocked by Joe Biden. The proposal here was a $14.9 billion acquisition of the U.S. Steel being blocked by Joe Biden, citing national security concerns. Nippon Steel had basically offered to expand crude steel production capacity from 65 million to 85 million metric tons annually. It was not good enough for the Biden administration. Now, X and Nippon Steel both have filed a lawsuit against U.S. President Joe Biden's order that blocked the $14.9 billion buyout. But President-elect Donald Trump has more to say about this, Adara.
He does, and I'm just going to read this Truth Social post because I think that it's very interesting too. The timing of this came out about 5 minutes ago, basically saying, quote, "Why would they want to sell U.S. steel now when tariffs will make it a much more profitable and valuable company? Wouldn't it be nice to have U.S. Steel, once the greatest company in the world, lead the charge toward greatness again? It can all happen very quickly." So we know Donald Trump's thoughts. He's put them very clearly on Truth Social. The other type of interesting things here for this story, Jefferies actually lowering its price target on X a bit here from $45 to $40. And also we have Nippon Steel and U.S. Steel both filing a couple different lawsuits here with regards to this deal being blocked. It was reported by Nikkei on Friday they were going to do this, but now the filings have indeed been filed. So keep an eye on U.S. Steel here for sure. Could be a bit of an interesting day for this one now that Trump's also watching.
Up over 4%, guys, and defending that $30 technical level. What's a look?
Yeah, it's interesting that it keeps getting these bounces, but I mean, nobody really believes that the deal is going to go through. I don't know that this lawsuit is going to matter to that. It's just, of course, they're going to file a suit here. one thing to keep in mind when you're starting to look at whether this happens or not is, hey, like it's just still a company that whether they get bought or not, they're still in an industry, and you can look at the fundamentals and what's going on here. And truth be told, if you look at like Nucor, which has been a best of breed, like this is what U.S. Steel's up against. So you have Nucor, which is getting into really, really good buy zones down at $100 from like 2022. So I kind of feel like, okay, well, if this makes a bottom here, U.S. Steel probably just gets dragged up by it. So I don't think the deal's going to happen. I think you got to treat it on its own merits, and at that point, look for a turn. If you're in U.S. Steel or you're interested in it, then I think you look for a turn in Nucor, because this is getting real juicy. Like, it looks, they got a solid dividend, well run. Obviously, hasn't been the best looking chart in the world, but you get to $100 in here, double bottom from 2022. It's a pretty significant level. And U.S. Steel would pretty much be retesting some lows from the fall if you were to get down there. So I think it's got a little bit of a floor on it, at least temporarily. All of these threats of the deal not going through, it seems to have held at 29. If it does that, Nucor does that, then I think you've got some kind of a level to work off of. But the $55, and that's not, it just seems like there's no chance that that's happening. Lawsuit or no lawsuit, I think you just got to try to trade it on its own merit. And it's in a sector which is not the belle of the ball right now.
Yeah, no. I mean, I would take this. Maybe you start to get some out there on this little bit of a bump up. I mean, it's Neil just showed you what's happening in the steel industry in general, with China dumping some steel and stuff. So Nucor continues to get hit. So the business isn't great anyways, and then you get this sort of, obviously, tailwind one day, headwind the next, now lawsuits. We'll just have to wait to see. But you can't really trade this technically. So if you're up now, you got a couple percentage points from any low buys, I might consider taking some of that. Yeah, I would probably, I've owned a Nucor in the past, and I like the stock. It's pretty low here. I think I would look to pick something up. I mean, we talked about some of the industrials, or we will. Again, just pretty dramatic move to the downside here, especially lately. So we'll have to see what's going on with the steel industry right now. As I said, I've been reading something about China and steel prices. So, and just the dumping onto the market, all the kind of the shittier steel over there. Part of my French. But yeah, anyways, you got to get through all this. You're starting to clear out maybe out of a little bit, but normally it's the 50-period moving average that I'm looking at on a daily chart, which is like 140. So we can maybe get back up to there. But yeah, right now I'd stay away from these sectors that aren't going too well.
Up to start the morning over here, getting an upgrade from Barclays, hiking that price target from about 210. Well, over here, sorry, they raised the price target to $210 from 190, and they boosted the overweight rating from equal weight, citing stronger growth trend in the original equipment, the OE. Over the aftermarket, so good look there. Just to give you some context, 17 of 30 brokerages currently still have Boeing as a buy or higher, 11 and a hold as 2 and 2 as a sell, with the median price targeted era 197.50, currently trading at 173.
Yeah, it's actually not a bad median price target at all. It's certainly not what I was expecting. But as I was telling Sharif, this Barclays upgrade is a little bit of what he would probably call a backhanded upgrade, in that they actually said they still predict a pretty rough time going forward. They think that they did say they need sustained positive momentum for production and deliveries, which they think they can deliver. And they did say that free cash flow improvement will still take longer than expected. So keep an eye on FCF, I guess, going forward for Boeing. And now we have Michael.
I think we're going to send him back.
All right.
I think we're going to have Michael in just a quick minute here, but the good thing about Boeing is I think you got one place to look at, well, two places to look at for the trade, maybe one place today. It just keeps bouncing the 200 period in that 170. So, it's a reason to like a trend reversion, and it's already, look, you bounced a couple of times there last week, although technically you didn't really get the bounce at the end of the day, you just held 170, but who cares? It gets a multi-day level, it's held on essentially what was not a fat finger, but a big, massive sell-off last week that just had a huge reversal off 170. Then twice, it's actually consolidated down there. So there's buyers, obviously, on Boeing at the 170 level. I don't know if you get a chance at that today with the gap up, but any longs off 170 I think are a little bit obvious. If you get anything back into what I think is the next breakout zone and it's not the 180, it is right in here. So I think 170, I recently bought in this one, but it's a long-term play. But this 198 to 200 level I think is your next key step. I mean, the longs off 170 all week long. As long as it holds that level, I think it's an over-under. You play the longs bouncing off 170. If it happens to break down, maybe wait for 69 to go, and then that would be the trade. I was just asked in the chat that I mentioned ARBE, this small cap, and didn't go over any levels, mostly because there weren't many to go over. Like this ARBE small cap is, oh, it's literally ARBE Robotics Limited. Okay, well, just make it really simple. No, there's not a heck of a lot to look at in terms of like the bag holder levels. You have to go to a weekly chart on this one. It's not a big short float name. It's more of like the float is only 27 and it's done 29 million already pre-market. It is worth looking at the respect it's had on the weekly for the 200. So that works out to about $4 on a dip. That's probably the one place I think would be worth looking back into. There is some confluence with the $4 level, probably more with about $3.25 if it were to dip back in, this ARBE. I was also looking at MBOT, but that thing already gave up the ghost pretty good as a couple of small cap runners here. Yeah, MBOT was another, but like this is already pulled back almost 40% off of the high. So I think ARBE looking a little more interesting.
So we're going to go to Michael Noss in a minute, and I'm sure I shouldn't say anything, maybe Fubo TV, maybe not on his radar, but we'll have to wait to see here. This is a runner right now there today, and it just took off again. So we just broke the pre-market high of $2.50, basically now into $3. I'm going to try a $3 break just on momentum and try to give it back into like $2.50 here. So here we go. I'm going to get long. Even though it says OB on the position board, we're going to get that fixed. It does. We are going to get long in a couple seconds here on a breakthrough with Fubo TV. So here goes $3, and there we go. We are now long. And what price are we long at? $3.03. So there goes Fubo TV. We're long, and we'll wait to see where we go with it. But now it's a nice little upside. We'll take something out. We'll take something out at 11. We'll take out like a couple percentage points. Then we'll take out 10% at 15 if we can get it right there. But here we go, baby. We're back in the seat again there today, and bang, there it is, instantly a 10% winner right there. So we always talk about, you join up, trade the pool, you try to get that 4% or something like that. There's 10% right there on Fubo TV, breaking through $3. There's 30 cents, there's 50 cents. Okay, this is starting to get real good here, Neil. This is trading again for you. There's Fubo TV. We talked about it. We indicated it. We came live on the show with the trade there, and there it goes, breaking through $3. Hands off. Now 50 cents in the money. Almost a 20% winner right here. It's no surprise. It's up 130%. This could go a little bit more. We said $4 might be the top there for Fubo TV, but there she goes one more time. It's Fubo, and it's off to the races. So far, so good. Yeah, some of these, it's kind of like been a small cap season here for the last little bit.
It's definitely a small cap season the last little bit. All the biggest trades have been, outside of Friday because Tesla did what it did, but there's been mostly small cappers going absolutely nuts here. This one free locates, by the way.
Ooh.
So we always talk about this in terms of sometimes it makes them run a little bit further. When you have a small capper or a low float name where you don't have to pay for shorts, oftentimes it means it's a lot easier for day traders to try and step in front and get clapped up a little bit. So that ARB also actually is free locates as well in addition to Fubo. But I do believe we have the NOS boss locked and loaded and ready to go.
We certainly do. Neil, Michael Noss coming in a second over here. Hey, there he is from the Maritime Provinces of Canada. Good morning, Michael. Look, I opened up the slides. I saw we're talking about energy, but most notably, I saw that last slide, Nat Gas, and what a time to talk about it. Up 9.5 points to start the morning. Good morning.
Yeah, I kind of wish it wasn't. I make these slides the day before, but I still think it's going to hold true. So yeah, as I kind of mentioned in my email there, and as the first slide shows, oil, gas, energy starting to get a little bit interesting. We've talked about this for a while, where I think we want to go to whatever's next, right? We always want to look at that, especially in the new year. people like to sell winners from the prior year to defer the tax to next year. They usually like to sell those at the beginning of the year. And then we're always looking for what's next, right? What are they going to put their money into? And yeah, the first chart I have here is USO, or oil. And this is a weekly chart of oil, just showing how kind of insanely tight this is getting. You know, oil is usually a general volatile type commodity, but for the past almost 2 years, we've done nothing. We've been in this range for 2 years, and this range continues to congest and congest. And if you look at last week's bar right there, you can see very, very strong. We're getting to the top end of that downward trend line. So it's starting to get interesting to me, right? If we see a continuation in oil, generally speaking, we're going to get some commodities as well. So I've got some other supporting charts about why I think energy might be a place that things are flowing. So these aren't really ideas until the end. It's just more evidence that I have that I think energy is interesting. So yeah, that next chart, that's URA. So uranium, big level. We were talking about that on the after hour show that it was pulling into. Bounced off that. This is a daily chart. You can see the last couple days, very, very strong action in uranium, just another fuel name that's doing really, really well. The next chart here is just the XLE, and the XLE on a weekly chart came down to prior support, found a bid after being down almost a month, I think over a month in a row, and then nice bounce. At that level, showing a really strong week last week. When last week was okay, but not nearly as strong as we saw in these energy names. So that just kind of shows me kind of broad evidence that the energy sector might be getting some inflows, might be getting some people looking to buy. So what I want to do is I want to try to pick trades, right? If my belief is at a high level that maybe energy is going to get some institutional inflows, I'm going to try to pick it a little bit. So the first chart I have here, which Sharif was kind of talking about, this is a very long-term daily chart of natural gas. This goes all the way back to kind of that peak. I remember the whole world when the Russia-Ukraine war started saying, okay, natural gas is, you know, we're out of natural gas, you know, that all the craziness that was happening there. And then, of course, that was the top and it fell. Every single orange circle is a test of the 200-day moving average. And I have not seen an asset respect a prominent moving average like the 200-day moving average as well as UNG has in a very long time. You can see it acted as support, it acted as when it was above it, and then it acted as resistance all the way below it, right? In hindsight, you know, the move would have been just short every time it hits the 200-day moving average, and then you would have done fantastically. Now, myself, I'm not really interested in shorting natural gas. It's one of those names that could triple overnight. It's called the Widowmaker for a reason. This is very, very volatile, and I kind of say that every time I talk about. But the next chart is the same chart, but just zoomed in a bit, and this is a bit of my trade idea. So, of course, today's candle didn't exist when I was doing this last night, but it's very interesting that we finally got the break of that 200-day moving average. You can start to see it flattening out. It's just showing that we've spent a lot of time chopping around it. You know, we haven't been below it, which is what causes a moving average to slope down. When you chop around a moving average, starts to flatten out. Doesn't mean we're in an uptrend yet, means we're almost in a sideways trend. And then Friday's candle came right down to touch it. And as Sharif was mentioning, we had a nice bounce. We're up like 9%. I'm looking over here. Yeah, up 9% or so on UNG already this morning. So my trade becomes pretty simple. If we start to hold in the beginning part of the day, I'm going to get long natural gas. If we get a close below the 200-day moving average, I think it's time to get out. Now, I just want to preface again, this thing is crazy. It can gap huge overnight with weather patterns or geopolitical conflict or whatever. So trade it smaller, or one thing that I'm going to look to do is potentially just buy calls. So then I can define my risk, and whatever I put into the calls, I'm just going to expect if I'm wrong, they're going to go to zero. That's another way to kind of size this thing. But I just want to make sure that, you know, people think commodities, they think boring, but not with natural gas. This is more like a biotech play than anything else.
Yeah, well said there. Specifically when we had that nat gas breakout, I think it was early last week, I said to you, or even the week before, I said to you, Michael, this one's penetrated the 200 moving average before, and it's always seemed to retrace. What's the move? Are we using a 3-period close above the level, or what? And you answered me, you said yes, time. You need time above that 200. Today, Michael, Adair and I were talking off camera before you came on, and that test and bounce off the 200 from the north side this time, not the south side, retesting a key technical level. Does that mean more?
Absolutely. And I talk about this. I know Neil feels the same way. My favorite setup is a very defined level that gets broken in an aggressive way, comes back to retest that, and then holds. Whether it's a moving average, whether it's a trend line, whether it's support or resistance, I think it all kind of works the same. So yes, that retest of that prior level, I think, is everything. That's why I'm kind of saying if we hold that, I want to be long this name. If we close significantly below that 200-day moving average, that's my out. And for me, that's a really good risk reward.
All right, nat gas is in focus right now because of obviously the issues with Ukraine not allowing it to pass, the Russian gas to pass through. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Michael Noss, thanks so much for bringing this to our attention. A lot of people have been waiting for nat gas to finally catch a bit of a bounce. Maybe this is it. We'll have to wait and see. Thanks for coming on.
No problem. That's been me waiting. So I hope we're right this time.
Take care.
Take care.
Yeah, thank you, Michael, for that one. While we were there with Michael, look, he talked about UNG before. He talked about being the widowmaker, and I like the fact that he was talking about risk management. Like, be cautious with all of your trades. Like, you know, a trade could easily go against you. But if you have your stops and you're somewhat responsible with trades, I don't think, you know, anything is out of the question. We talked even about Bitcoin, as you can put in stop orders now. And the only problem is, of course, buying something and selling something that's not open 24 hours is a little bit of a risk. On that note right there, I mean, let's just props it up anybody that was looking at Fubo TV there on that $3 break, because there it goes. Now, I was just saying we've got $1, so we got a couple outs there at $4 on Fubo TV. We did hold a 40% there, got some more out, so now we'll have to wait to see where we go. But there's a nice little move. We only have about 35% left of this trade right now, but Fubo TV working out early right there to match with that UNG. The other name you can look at, of course, as well would be this Boyle. So that's something that gets going as well there, looking at the nat gas space. You want to get like a double, I think it's double, hold on a second, levered stock ETF here. So it just says Ultra Bloomberg Natural Gas. So maybe it's not, but there you go, up 11% as well there, Boyle. So our charts aren't going to show this split, but there it goes to the upside there, $50, trying to make a big move back in. Watch out for 60. I remember we had Michael on, I think it was not too long ago. Adam will remember this. We were talking about this name breaking back down below $62 or something like that. So there's a $60 market. Looks like we might have found that bottom there with Boyle. But yeah, UNG, a good name there as well. I think I'm going to get another piece out just above, or just below, sorry, 4. We'll take a piece out there. We'll take about 10% or so of what we have left there on Fubo, still going higher.
Fubo, an absolute rocket ship, great trade over there. And look, obviously, he was just talking, one of the things Michael talked about was uranium. Worth mentioning SMR, NEE, IonQ. Oh, yeah. Some of these nuclear runners are, look, we talked about Friday, there were a lot of fantastic up moves. It didn't matter what you grabbed. If you grabbed Tesla, if you grabbed NVIDIA, if you grabbed Rivian, if you grabbed SMR, if you grabbed MSTR, like there were so many runners, you had to pick one and rip it. But a continuation here on SMR, it's trying to break back out about 2260 if you look in here. A bit of a triple top. I think there's room for 24 if you can break that $50 area. And like you said, like it didn't really matter which you picked. SMR had a great day on Friday. It looks to do a continuation. IonQ, which is another one of the big nuclear names. Maybe not quite as strong, but it made a pretty big move on Friday. It kind of has a similar breakout looming here. This is a load up quickly. Similar breakout looming at 49. Though I would venture to say SMR looks a little bit stronger and more of that squeeze-ish potential there. So should be on the radars to be sure. Whether you like nuclear names, whether you like quantum names, I'm kind of looking at all of these second, third day runners. Actually, they're mostly second day runners because everything on Friday that did a ramp job to the upside, I think I want to be looking for continuation plays.
Do you remember what the main catalyst was for the nuclear? Was it just
to be honest, on Friday, it felt like an everything rally.
Yeah.
Like on Friday, you basically had anything that had been depressed and sold off. And so the nuclear, well, not all of the nuclear names, certainly not all of the quantum names.
There.
But like IonQ was huge. If you looked at what went on with Rigetti as well, just to pick and choose if you want to go to another quantum name. The reason I say IonQ is Rigetti couldn't hold on. Like Rigetti was trying to break out all morning on Friday and then ended up pulling back into 18. Whereas when I look at IonQ, it profiled much more like the nuclear names, like the EV names, where it got to the top and held that top. So we'll have a quick look here. Let's go to Adara right now. We've got upgrades and downgrades to get to.
This is probably the best upgrades and downgrades screen we've had so far of 2025. That's because we have some heavy hitters on both sides of the coin. Starting with American Airlines, this one getting a couple positive analyst notes this morning, but up about 5% here. One upgrade was from TD Cowen with a $25 price target. Boeing here getting this Barclays upgrade. We talked about that a little bit over on the news desk with $210 price target, up about 2%. Tesla also up about 2% with this stifle price target increase from 411 to 492. And Cisco getting an upgrade from Elias. On the downgrade side of things, CRM kicking things off here. Guggenheim downgrading the stock with a $247 price target. Palantir, this downgrade we're going to discuss on the rundown. You can also get more info on our Trader TV Live's watch list. But Morgan Stanley resuming coverage with a underweight rating and a $60 price target. The last two downgrades both have to do with financial institutions. So Goldman Sachs getting downgraded by UBS and CME Group getting downgraded by Citigroup, guys.
What a bunch of names there. Thank you so much. Adara,
Lots of big ones.
I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember. I was looking at the board there. By the way, Fubo right now is $1.35 in the money and ripping higher. Like, I have no idea. Well, we know what's going on. It's Disney, but there it goes, man. Fubo. And we were talking about it and maybe not taking this $4 mark. Like, hello, not taking the $4 mark. Up to $4.50 right now. This name is, I mean, it is absolutely... I want to talk about those upgrades and downgrades real quick, but, you know, I was just going to say, like, we had Salesforce downgraded there. We had Palantir downgraded there. FUBO. I just want to... Why is that not working? FUBO, Fubo, there it is, okay. I just want to see, okay, so we only have 12% of a short float right now on Fubo TV here. So, again, a big deal there with Disney. Looks like they're going to get into that Hulu stream. As we've talked about it, go grab it. We'll talk about it on the desk in just a couple of minutes, but Hulu, and Fubo, oh no, that's going to be hard to do throughout the day. I'm just going to say Fubo and Disney. But there it is. Salesforce, look, I really like Mark Benioff. We talk about Einstein and, you know, their sort of run with AI and what I think it's going to mean for their company. Is it already baked in? Possibly. You don't get too many opportunities to get down into the 50-period moving average. Sometimes when there's blood in the streets, they'll come for the stock. And right now, no surprise, it's getting downgraded as they're trying to apply pressure, probably to get this back into this 320 to 310-ish area, these bottoms. So I really like that as well. We both have, I just saw you type it in.
Intel.
We both have some Intel. We both have news in our ear. They're just talking about at CES. So that's the...
Well, that's tonight.
Consumer electronics. I think it just starts now, right? Like, I think it's just all this
keynotes. I thought the keynote was
the keynote is, but I think... that's with Jensen. I don't know. Like, I guess maybe Intel, whatever.
I'm not sure.
We'll probably get that throughout.
Intel's not moving.
No.
Kind of a nothing burger.
We'll probably get that throughout the day. So we'll have news in our ear as well if anything hits. But yeah, that was what was interesting there on the upgrades and downgrades. I think I would pick up some Salesforce.
Actually,
we'll talk about Palantir, obviously. But
actually, note on Intel is I'm just reminded. Hey, Intel is potentially breaking out here. It's only 30.
Remember I was saying?
It's only 30 cents away from this local high.
Baxter.
That's 2012. I'm actually going to write this on my iPad. I forgot all about this one. Look, Intel 1.5, just because all the other chip names are up, but 2112 looks like a pretty good level in here for potential breakout. It doesn't necessarily have a distinct catalyst, but at the end of the day, you know what? Yeah, if we liked this level last week, I mean, you're adjacent to it right now. Why not? 2112 breakout, I think here. Actually, it's 2110. Let's just go on Intel. And Lucid apparently is making some power moves I see in the chat as well.
Yeah, I just heard something about it again.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, so one of the things is when you have the earpiece to listen to the news, as you're talking, you can't really hear it as well. So I hear myself. And yeah, Lucid making a bit of a move here. I didn't catch the news, but 10% to the upside. It had a good day, not a great day like what Rivian did. But I like this one on the daily chart as well. Anything above 340. It's a squeeze name because it's got a pretty solid short flow, so you got to respect it for that.
There it is.
Lucid looking pretty good.
It was...
what was it?
It's what production vehicles. So 3,300 vehicle deliveries versus 3,100 vehicle deliveries. And then the news from Intel is they're unveiling new Core Ultra. This means nothing to me. Series 2 processors. So, but you know what? You know, gaining 20 cents on Lucid is really nice. But this Fubo right now, we are 100 basically. Well, we're going to be 50% in the money here because we're long at $3 and it's going to be $1.50 in the money in a couple seconds, but we're trying to go a little higher right now. So some of these names, I'm getting a little bit like, the word overwhelmed is not really the right word. It's just anxious about like so many things happening right now here today. Like I still want to talk about Palantir. We've got Fubo on our mind. I mean, we both like Tesla today. I mean, I think anyways, Neil started the show with a good trade talk set up there on Tesla. So that's going to be good. And then look at Fubo. Holy shit. This one right now, guys, I see Brendan in the background. Let's go. This is a big trade now for Fubo as we have 20 to 22% left right now going on Fubo. That's starting to go. What about some plays that might be in the background? Roku, Fubo. There must be some other kind of small little streamers, things like that could possibly go. There's I don't
know if there's anything that's
Fubo. There's that other one. Someone will think about it. Nothing's happening in Roku anyways, but anyways, I was just thinking there's probably something else there. Oh my, this trade just keeps on working. So I just go like that to everybody. All right, 9:06. Neil brought up SMR, lots of names to talk about. We got to go back over to the desk. Oh man.
59.89, guys. That's where we closed out on Friday on the ES March contract. We're well above that 6,000 point level, though, so we're not going to use that, obviously, as resistance. In fact, 6,000 today's support level. If we continue heading higher and we take out 650, that'll be the first level that we look at as a resistance. 6,050. If we take out that level, we're looking all the way up here at 6,100. We'll have to see how today ends up, guys. All right, make sure to get the watch list. Adair prepares it every day, and we all use it, so make sure to have that watch list sent to you. A no good morning routine is sound without a proper organization, and that's what the watch list provides you. Make sure to have that sent to your inbox every single morning. Shout out to Adair who prepares it every day. All right, guys, let's start with the first ticker on the list over here. We're talking about semis. They're on watch as Foxconn reported record fourth quarter revenue with 2.1 trillion new Taiwanese dollars, give or take about 64 billion US dollars revenue for the quarter. That's up 15% year over year, the highest fourth quarter revenue the company has ever reported. Should be mentioned that it's primarily driven by AI, but consumer electronics, including iPhones, Adara, did experience slight declines.
Yes, it's a really great report in general. Obviously, we're responding well. And a lot of these global semiconductors, notably ASML, actually trading much higher in response. But we have to talk about CES. This is a photo released by NVIDIA here, basically advertising Jensen Huang's keynote at CES. It's going to be about 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Pacific. So keep an eye here. Yes, it will be Jensen Huang himself. So definitely we'll be covering that tomorrow, I'm sure. Also worth noting here, a couple other notes I'm seeing from Intel and Marvell ahead of this event. Marvell actually spiked quite significantly. I'll pull up the chart, announcing that it has breakthrough co-packaged optics architecture for custom AI accelerators. We hear AI. Generally, it's been well received. Intel, though, also making some strides here, extending its leadership in AI PCs and edge computing at CES 2025. So keep an eye on INTC and MRVL. Other companies expected to attend are ARM, AMD, Qualcomm.
And widely expected, guys, that we get some new product announcements today from NVIDIA at CES. Can't wait to hear that.
Well, whether we do or not, you know, obviously that news will come. We're not necessarily expecting anything, you know, throughout this particular trading day, but I think it's just a go for a continuation play. Someone in the chat this morning was like, hey, what's the target for where NVIDIA could get to? I mean, the only thing left up here besides 150 being a round number is the all-time high at 152.89. So there's 150 even, there's 152.89, or 153 if we're rounding up. I think you try to keep it relatively simple. It was a good, clean breakout through both 141 and 142 on Friday. I think those are pretty much gone. I had to slap a 30-minute chart so you could see kind of this prior, here we go, this prior high in this range. You've got that 150 like we talked about for resistance, and then here 146 to 146 half. As long as it's over 146, looking longs on all dips. That means pre-market lows is going to hold right in front of that 146 and a half. Ideally, there's longs before 150 break. 150 is a break that, look, at the end of the day, 150 break we're going to have. But any dip before then, I do like. And then just on, we already mentioned Intel. AMD is now above resistance and breaking this channel, the down channel that it's been on for quite some time. So I do like what we're seeing here with AMD. Now, obviously, the last time it did this, it consolidated without breaking off the top. But on day one, it's basically long into prior high. Try to keep it simple. 120, you had this 128 level, which was that prior resistance. Look how long it held. Longs in front of 120. I think there's a better chance at the AMD dip into prior resistance than NVIDIA's, just because it's a little closer.
All right, so yeah, I pretty much agree with all of that, obviously. I only looked today, though, at NVIDIA. I wrote down NVIDIA here, the 146 long, which is back to the 50-period SMA. We'll talk about that. It's probably gone right now. And then what about the 150 long break? And then also that high of 152 and change coming into play. Again, there we got SMR, Tesla, Fubo. We wrote the $3 break here on Fubo, but we already have that trade. So nothing right now, that already broke. So we had to get the sticky note. You had to get it just before it broke there, before that happened. All right, so NVIDIA, let's talk about a trade that we're not in yet, right? Like Fubo's over with, basically. We just got some more out there, 450s. We already looked at that long-term chart. I think this is a good spot for Fubo, although they're talking about it adding X amount of billions and this and that. So, I mean, it could still keep going there on social media push for sure. All right, so where are we now? It looks like the 200 period right now is at 147. We are starting to get more data points now to make this a little valid. So we'll have to wait to see if it does get a pullback in there. $2 down, could we get it? Yeah, I mean, I think we could. NVIDIA is just one of those stocks where we've seen it, and again, not here on Friday. It does not go down at all, just goes straight to the upside. But there's been times where NVIDIA has definitely fallen out of grace, right? So I've come in before, written this thing as a long, and seen it just tank all the way down before finally picking up some steam and then going. Right now, VWAP's at 148, long term there, 147. I wrote down on the list, as I said on here before, 146 to 145. That's basically 145 is the top there. That would be a dream level. If that comes into play, fine. What we were looking at was over here, where now we have the 50 period now at 146. So this was kind of what I was looking at, the 50 period moving average on a 5-minute chart, holding, and really taking off there from the morning on Friday, and then holding it on the afternoon. Looks like the afternoon kind of barcoded a little bit there, right? So yeah, down into 146 is where I'm looking at for NVIDIA. And I think it might be fool's gold, man, but I don't know. Like, I think breaking that 150 is in play. It's kind of just like if Tesla takes out, and we're going to get to Tesla, I guess next, basically, when we talk about some Uber news too. But Tesla breaking this top two at 424, the high of the pre-market, as well as 425 coming into play. And by the way, I kept on saying, like, my average price is 67 and change there on Uber. So it's nice to see Uber right back to these levels again. Let's go over to the desk.
A $60 hold, guys, on Uber. It's been a period of weeks. I think we're going into the 5th week with that $60 hold. A couple of headlines today for Uber. Let's start with the first one over here. So the ride-hailing companies are embracing driverless taxis. Specifically, Uber and Lyft have now abandoned developing their own self-driving cars. Now, instead, looking to collaborate with driverless taxi operators like Waymo and May Mobility. They've also started including things in their app features like unlocking cars and honking horns, etc. We'll keep an eye out on that. Some infrastructure upgrades include storage, charging stations, high-speed internet, all this kind of thing that's going to have to support driverless technology, Adair. But that's not the only reason we're up on the day. What else is Uber doing over there?
Well, they're doing an accelerated stock buyback or accelerated stock repurchase, ASR. Basically, what's happening here is they're initiating this $1.5 billion buyback. It's part of their previously announced $7 billion buyback, which they announced back in February 2024. And their CFO basically explaining that the reason for this is because they're entering 2025 with, quote, considerable momentum, and they expect to be scaling some free cash flows. They think they're in a good position to do this. also saying that their stock is apparently undervalued. Now, if you're looking, though, in this vehicle space, they are not the only car-related company with a catalyst. Tesla does have that price target increase from Stifel, and Lucid making a nice push to the upside, announcing apparently record Q4 deliveries, production of 3,386 vehicles, delivering just under 3,100 vehicles, guys.
Looking actually pretty interesting, and I think we always talk about Rivian and Tesla in the EV space, and that looks like a good one. I actually think today, at least specifically today for the day trade, Uber feels a little bit top heavy-ish. I mean, it's coming right back into double barrel prior support levels at 68, 68.5, and then it already pulled back in. So it doesn't look quite as good as the other gap ups. I think maybe it needs to chew and hold the open above 68, that prior level of resistance. Like I would like to see the buyers back above, holding that 50-period moving average, as opposed to like this dip that we're catching, only because I guess we're lumping Tesla in here. So why not? I mean, Tesla's going to be unavoidable, especially after Friday. It was multiple breakouts. I had a stop order that I set for a break, and obviously it's not going anywhere. I'm like, you shouldn't set the stop order. I just punched in and out. Actually made a couple of cents there on Tesla, but until it actually breaks out this top, and this will be about 425 and then 427, I think are two separate breakouts. We'll be stalking for that there on Tesla. Whether or not we get a 410 to 412 prior resistance, it would take a hefty drop, but Tesla can be that volatile. It would also be trying to hold green. So I do like that 410 level, 410 to 412 for a dip, 425 and 427 for breakouts there on Tesla. Uber, I'm going to stay away unless it can start holding that bid a little bit better after the open.
Yeah, so again, just talking quickly, we did get some out of Fubo there, breaking through 450, I can show you here, 440 rate, 450. So there's the 450 break. So an out right there. The NASDAQ is absolutely collapsing right now. So I don't know if there's any information that's come through. We still have the news in our ear, but it is coming back in. What stock is it, they say? Let's go have a quick little look. I'm checking some scanners out here. Maybe is it NVIDIA?
Apple went down a couple.
I was going to say, there's Apple. I mean, I naturally called up Apple. NVIDIA, no. Okay, we'll wait. I mean, it could just be a little bit of a market break back down to the downside. I mean, we were going to talk a little bit about Uber. I just didn't want to ignore the market, but we do have it on watch right now. Maybe AMD, people saying. Anyways, the ones that go up the fastest also fall down the fastest. So AMD could be one of those plays as well. Yeah. Look, whether or not it's luck or not, I don't think it's luck when things bounce off levels that we keep talking about. But there's $60. I mean, stocks have a way of doing this kind of stuff. Bad news comes through, finds a base, and then right back up to the upside. I talked about liking Uber for many other reasons. But the robo-taxi one, I think, can work in their favor. We talked about that with Tesla, right? And it's like they could strengthen their fleet with robo-taxis themselves, Uber. They have enough cash to go out there and get thousands. I mean, whether or not Tesla sends them over to them or not, I don't know. But that's, I don't know, free market, I think will be okay. So we'll wait to see here. Fabian just sent me, okay, got it, Fabian. That was to me specifically, right? Okay. But anyways, there goes Uber right now to the top side as we go. I did want to bring up, we do have a new read there, so make sure you do scan that QR code below. Hive Digital, NASDAQ symbol, you know this symbol, guys, HIVE, is pioneering the digital transformation through sustainable AI solutions and Bitcoin mining, a global leader in cutting-edge data center operations with over 2,700 Bitcoin on their balance sheet. Hive consistently tops the industry in Bitcoin mined per exahash and is redefining the future by powering the world's most transformative technologies with efficient, green, and clean energy. Learn more by following them at Hive Digital Tech or at hivedigitaltech.com and sign up for the newsletter for updates. Make sure you do scan that QR code below. But there you go. So Hive, thanks Hive. And 2,700 Bitcoin on balance sheet. I think that kind of matches Joe's about something like that. So something like that. We do like Hive. Thank you so much, Hive, for that information. And go check them out by scanning the QR code on your screen. Someone downgraded Palantir.
Uh-oh.
Say what?
Uh-oh.
can blame Morgan Stanley for that, Sean. Specifically, Sanjit Singh. He's the analyst at Morgan, now assigning an underweight rating to Palantir with a $60 price target, basically citing overvaluation concerns. He says, you know, the 340% gain that Palantir experienced last year was largely attributed to multiple expansion rather than actual revenue growth. And he cautions about a near-term outlook due to what he says, the lack of visibility on material estimate revisions, as well as shares trading ahead of what he believes their intrinsic value is. Adara, Palantir, but we also got to talk about the market.
We have to talk about the markets. There's a couple different things I'm seeing that could play a role. Of course, we never know exactly why things are moving, but it is worth noting. Fed's Cook speaking, and to be clear, these are comments that we've heard from other Fed speakers this weekend. Fed's Cook saying that officials can be more cautious with further cuts, given the labor market resilience and stickier inflation. Again, this is what we heard from Fed Chair Jerome Powell on December 18th. This is what we heard from other Fed officials. But regardless, the market's moving, so it is worth mentioning. The other thing worth mentioning, and I'll just show you guys, is this new Truth Social post from Trump. He's been very active today in Truth Social, saying that this Washington Post story that we mentioned with regards to tariffs is actually incorrect. He says it's an example of, quote, fake news, and says the sources that are saying that this tariff policy is going to be pared back a little bit, they don't even exist. So interesting note here, keep an eye on this tariff news and more comments from Fed's Cook, which again, kind of restating what we already knew.
Donald Trump active early here, guys. What's the look?
34 root truth.
I mean, like if you watched Palantir on Friday, you kind of know, like 80 was resistance. It's at 79. I get it. It's a downgrade. Look, it's a downgrade. You can't ignore that. The market's going down. So I suppose, you know, you want to respect that 80 level for some kind of a short up there because it was supply zone. But that was 79.99 that held from 12 o'clock till the end of the day. Let's be real. If 80 breaks, it's a long. It's just how Palantir rolls, and I will take it even if it's a little bit of a trap. If we hold the afternoon support level underneath this pre-market high into that afternoon low at about 79.5, okay, fine. Look for some kind of a continuation short on Palantir just because the market's looking weak. But I just don't see any way around that kind of a flat top on Palantir not being a breakout trade if we're able to get it. So yeah, I mean, there's going to be upgrades and downgrades. You can't argue with sometimes the PE and these things being inflated, and so there's going to be analysts that are going to have it as overpriced, and that's just going to be normal. So you know, continuation if it holds pre-market lows or pre-market highs as a short. But I mean, if it's breaking out the top at 80, I'm going to be looking one way. You throw that stop order in, it doesn't mean it has to break though.
I just try to set a stop order there for Fubo. Okay.
Oh yeah, because you have to use
350. I have to use the other one. Okay. All right. So, yeah, I mean, Neil just talked about that $80 level not breaking on Friday. I think that's going to be interesting. I feel like it's going to break it there today. I mean, Morgan Stanley, I mean, that's a nice story, but you're not going to stand in the way of Palantir, especially if this market starts to blast a little bit higher. Breaking back through this $80 seems inevitable. I just put a bid right now at the 200 period down here at 77, just because that's where we sort of gathered on Friday before starting to take off right there off the open. So, I mean, it didn't even get going off the open. It got going right about 10:30 when we did break that $78 level. So, again, Palantir, pretty negative, right? I mean, negative. It has not been trading that well. I think Morgan Stanley probably pretty smart by downgrading this today. It had a huge move up. It went from $73 all the way up into $80. So my guess is Morgan Stanley did not get enough shares down here around $73 or $74, wants to bring it back down. So a 5% move down, they're sitting in here ready to go with some Palantir shares. So let's see if they can get it long down there in and around 74, 75. Great job, Morgan Stanley. You tried to do it on Carvana by giving it a $0 price target or a $1 price target. Let's see what winds up happening here with Palantir. I think it's a buy. I'm willing to buy some 77s, but again, not sitting around waiting to get run over. If it's not going to work and Morgan doesn't want to buy till 74-ish, then we'll wait until that level with open hands.
All right, guys, Chinese ADRs in focus today as China's services activity came out overnight higher than expected. 52.2 was the print in December, up from that 51.5 print that we got in November and surpassing the analyst forecast of 51.7. This is aligning with China's official PMI, which got released last week, rebounding from that 50 print that we got in November up to 52.2. You got the likes of Pinduoduo up 2.25 right now, but certainly off the highs of Baba could be moving here as a result of some tweets.
Yeah, what it seems to be here, we just mentioned that Donald Trump comment on with regards to the tariffs, saying that the story suggesting there'd be pared down tariffs is fake news, and the sources that allegedly said this to Washington Post don't even exist. So interesting note there. PDT getting hit pretty hard by this as well. So it looks like this could be related to the Chinese tariff story. We're going to take a look at XPeng as well. We know XPeng on watch with that Volkswagen collaboration, looking here for the largest super fast charging network in China. XPeng actually not being hit as hard by this. So interesting note there. But keep an eye on a lot of these Chinese retailers like PDT. We know that has Temu. Keep an eye on Alibaba. Keep an eye on Baidu, names like that, because they're the most likely to be hit by these tariffs.
And obviously, like, what a reversal, because these were really strong going into the open. So look, for Alibaba, I didn't think this would be, you have to be able to adjust, but I think it makes it a little bit more simple now that it's pulled back in here. This is a 200-period moving average and supported $84 in Alibaba. I don't love the fact that you're gapped up and then losing support right after gapping up. So I think a retest of 84 is very much a possibility here for Baba. That's the one that's going to be on my radar to watch. There are some imbalances. Clearly that move down, not very good for the Chinese names. NIO's a buy of 500,000. That's the only Chinese name that's going to be on there. And then Fubo, which probably isn't a big surprise, 150. I would ignore the auction price. That's just pegged to where it closed on Friday, right? So it's a 1.5 million imbalance. Keep in mind, it's done over 100 million shares on Fubo.
Oh my God, it has.
So it's not like it's a buy imbalance, but that is... It's kind of a nothing burger, that buy imbalance, despite the fact it's so big. It's a $4 stock, and it's already done 100 times, or at least 70 or 80 times that kind of volume here in the pre-market. NVIDIA is a small sell at 450,000. Wow, that's hilarious. They just, in my ear, I just heard, which was clearly incorrect, 30 seconds. He
stopped, yeah.
And then he stopped himself, realizing it was not 9:30, which kind of freaked me out, because I'm like, we have 3 minutes to go. There's no way. NVIDIA just bounced off of VWAP despite that small sell imbalance there on NVIDIA. There was obviously a bit of a drop in the market that we all saw. Tesla's right back up to the high. So NVIDIA is still looking good for a dip buy opportunity. And then Tesla, yeah, I might have to forget about it. Sometimes you literally keystroke in and make 10 cents when if you'd held the nonsensical accidental trade, it would have been a winner. It doesn't matter. 420 first look for a dip buy. And then we like the 410 to 412 on Tesla there as well. So a lot to look at here. Chef Joe, RIP it. Rip it, Tesla.
Rip it, yeah.
Rip it.
Yeah,
First I'm like, don't not rest in peace. Tesla's going up. So we like some Tesla this morning. We like NVIDIA this morning. SMR potentially for a breakout. And Fubo, let's get to you. We already talked about it, but it is still holding huge volume.
For us, by us.
Fubo. Really interesting story here, guys, because if you'll recall, Fubo was one of the companies that was looking to sue Disney and some other companies that were looking at creating a sports streaming conglomerate. Fubo called that anti-competitive, filed a lawsuit in federal court. Now we're hearing that they're creating a deal with one of the previous parties to that lawsuit, namely Disney. So here's a look. This is a definitive deal. It's going to be about, we don't have the price released yet, but they're taking on about $6 billion in revenue. That is Fubo's revenue there. So the company entered into a definitive agreement with Disney to combine its Hulu with Fubo to form a virtual MPVD company. Good look, Adara. Any more info on this?
We do actually have some more info on this. This was initially reported there by Bloomberg. Then we actually had Fubo CEO David Gandler saying in a conference call that this deal is going to make the company, quote, a major player in streaming, apparently with over $6 billion in revenue. And they said based on their preliminary results, they're actually expecting Q4 revenue and subscribers within their previous guidance. So maintaining their guidance may be a mixed look, but this deal, as Sharif mentioned, is huge contextually and could be huge for the company.
Katina Min in it right now. Sean, what's the look?
Again, we just kind of played momentum. We started the show by talking about it almost right away, and it was starting to go. So then all of a sudden, it just, once it broke this $3 mark, I don't know what got into it, but volume definitely did. And there it goes. They started talking about it, apparently, the Fubo CEO, and now we're starting to go higher. I just took out another piece here, breaking through $4. We have a bunch at $4.50. Where is my out? That's the only thing that matters. I'm going to get out of 80% now, almost 80 to 85% of this at 350 if we break below 350 right now off the open. That could happen. Wait out for halts possibly on this name. Could easily go that 35, 40 cents to give this name a halt. So watch out there if it does do that. I'm going to try to get out VWAP right now in and around 350. That's my stop spot right there. So if it does come out, Fubo is out on that play. We don't have much time to go over it, but there's the level that I was pretty happy with, and that's right where we are right now, 380. So good job there on Fubo. Hold strong, Fubo TV, and we'll see if we get a dip buy, but I wouldn't do it at least until $3, like sort of where we got it initially, but you never know. Only 10 seconds to go right now. That ARBE, another runner there. Thank you, Adara, for ringing the bell with 2 and 1. And
Let's go.
We are open.
That was a very muted ring.
Yeah, so we got Tesla. So again, Fubo's going to go back and forth. I wouldn't be surprised if I get stopped out just on the chaos here off the open. Remember, it's a New York name, so you got to wait for the DMM, the direct market maker, to open this thing up. Tesla, Neil, the other way right now.
Yeah, Tesla pulling back in. NVIDIA is still going. Still going up. Okay, we might get this one. Might try to break
Tesla
it.
Is a nice.
Tesla's actually starting to get down into that 420 level. So we like 420. It's already held a couple of times here. A couple of times in the pre-market. Let's see if it can do it again on Tesla. SMR is not has not broken out. Last I checked, it's still hanging at 22. Actually pulling back in is SMR. So bit of a muted. Early look here, see if we can't grab some Tesla. But SMR, a bit of a disappointment. I thought this one had a better chance at breaking it out.
There it is.
Of course, now I haven't loaded this one. Yeah, NVIDIA not doing much of anything. Let's see if we can get some. Oh, there, okay, yeah, Tesla just came in.
All right, yeah, we just took, we're long at 420.80. We already got some out on the upside there on Tesla, 421, 422. Well, okay, here it goes again. Yes, sir. Huge move now for Tesla. Let's see if it can continue up higher. Long 420.80. So we both got Tesla right now. We told you it was on our mind, and now money is hopefully on our mind as well. We'll get some more out here at 423 if we're able to. Fubo does make that move up to $4 again, now fading just a little bit here on Fubo. We'll continue to watch Tesla though right now.
Yeah, and
SMR maybe.
SMR, look, SMR is actually trading down a little bit here into 22 even, so no breakout yet. NVIDIA looks like it is charging toward the 149. Still trying to give it a chance to give those pre-market lows down in the 147 level. Still plenty of chance for that to happen. Intel, one of the other chip names we're looking for. I have a stink bid on Intel. I think there is probably no point of that. I'm going to go ahead and cancel it. We like a break of 2110 as well on INTC. And then you mentioned Fubo. It's holding VWAP. There was no halt at the open. I do like that, the fact that it's got some stability to it. So probably worth it if it can start to hold on to VWAP in here. I expected if it broke down, there would be a halt at the open. But seems like the liquidity is very, very good here. If it can hold on to VWAP, I'd look dip buy. But their selling is starting to come into this stock. So just Tesla for me because NVIDIA, no dip buy. We might end up just in the break.
Yeah, kind of... Again, Fubo does break through, so not like, the greatest of situations here for us there on Fubo. And we said that we would try to wait. So far, so good here, waiting for Fubo TV to try to go. Tesla right now, Sharif just sits down. That's what we are, buddy. So right there. So, yeah, we actually do have that trade. 420.85 right now on Tesla. Really starting to make them sing right now. Let's see if it can continue. Nice upside trade there on TSLA. Again, you want to always trade names that have those catalysts, right? We're so glad to be back with everybody here today celebrating again. We talked about maybe the first real trading week here of the new year, but starting off with a banger there with TSLA, and we continue to sort of grind a little bit higher here, as expected, really. There it goes. I mean, you never expect. It's hard to say like how far we expect these names to go, but I am going to get out another piece right there for a big one, man. It's $5 now in the money. Good trade there for Neil and I, as we both have this one starting to get going now into the money now. This is what trading is all about, guys.
Yeah, and it's right. It could break this 427 here quickly, everybody. 427 this high on the 15-minute. Let's see if it can make that breakout as well. SMR just went, and NVIDIA just went. So NVIDIA's through 149. SMR just broke. That's a New York stock as well. I know if you're on a NASDAQ stock, SMR just broke, but then came right back in, trying to hold that 22. So a bit of a false breakout on SMR as we speak.
Yeah, I actually have that trade as well. So we actually did take that trade there on SMR. Kind of a bad one, to be honest with you here. It's trying to get a little bit lower now. SMR does not, whoa. All right, I know, I don't even have if you come over to my chart here, I don't even have a tick that went up there that high, but we'll see if we can get that all filled up for you right now as SMR is wheeling just a little bit. I'm going to try to get something out. That 200 period down there on SMR trying to hold, which would, whoa, there it goes. Yeah, so I was going to say that's 21.75 or so for an out on SMR. That's too bad because I did like that trade, but there it goes. Tesla also, Neil, coming right back in as well. Wow, okay.
Yeah, Tesla coming right back. Tesla just gave you, SMR lost VWAP, lost 22s, so simple breakout strategy. Take the break over, get out when it loses under. I don't know that I want to be short this name, so I'm probably not going to jump over into the short, but if it ends up a failed break, sometimes the continuation is going to be there. NVIDIA, not to ignore you, NVIDIA, but obviously SMR went and Tesla's been moving around. So NVIDIA broke 149 a couple of times, so local high breaks. It hasn't really gone further than 149.40. So a little bit of a resistance spot at the $0.50 for NVIDIA on the way to the $150 level there. We see there's a lot of small cappers moving around here, not just Fubo. That Meagle, MEGL, the tap is $1.11, but it's halted to the downside. So downward halt on MEGL. It's trying to fill in this little bit of a gap. You know I like the $1 level, so maybe if it can bounce off that, it is worth a look on MEGL. Fubo's still holding 350. I haven't gotten into it yet, but I like it now trying to hold on to VWAP here. We'll see if we can grab that. Let's go to Adara.
But a few small caps to discuss here. CRNC, which now has about a $1.13 billion market cap, had a huge run on Friday, announcing an NVIDIA-related catalyst here that they're going to be extending their collaboration. 18% short float for CRNC. We also have robotics names on watch ahead of that CES event, which we are expecting to have a lot of robotics-related announcements. MBOT, MBOT Medical getting a bit of a push off the open. IRBT, also on watch. iRobot Corporation. RR has also been in watch over the last little bit here. Rich Tech Robotics. So keep an eye on these robotics-related tickers. I'm also seeing this FCX pop up here. Freeport McMoran. This one's actually on the S&P 500. So some larger companies making moves as well, guys. Back to you.
Like that name there. Thanks, Adara. Yeah, we talked about different names coming through. Look, SMR just kind of gave me a little bit of relief. We got some more out there at 20 there on SMR, but again, like we sort of got that very, very high wick, as you guys can clearly see there on this. Looked like it did try to break a little bit higher, but we did write this down on our sticky note. So, you know, in a trade that just has not worked out for us, SMR right there now today, and there it goes breaking back below. So that's a pretty epic fail right there for shaking my head there on SMR. Tesla, all right, well, we did get back up into 422 or so, but now it's trying to come back in. What was the name there?
420 coming right in there again on Tesla. So it's got the retest. We took it twice. We'll see if it tries to hold a third time. NVIDIA's pulling back into 149 as well, so you're getting a pretty hefty pullback. VWAP held on Fubo, so those are the three names that we are in. Feel like if we lose this gap on 420, 410 to 412 was the next buy zone, so I'm not holding through a 420 break. I need this above 420 if we're going to hold on to it. I just saw a question in there, Ellie. Are we looking at crypto names? I have Bitcoin up. It's at 99,000. We're not really getting that much of a push through 100,000. I did have a stop order, which I will now cancel on Mara for a breakout on Mara. This was on the note, but yeah, Mara heading in the other direction despite the fact Bitcoin's not doing anything. Tesla just lost 420, so we're out of that one. Probably didn't need to reload. We'll flush that one down the toilet. It'll end up being failed because we ended up reloading, and we didn't have to. So a lot of these names starting to come back in. I'm looking at the futures, and they look okay to me because the NASDAQ is continuing through highs. So NASDAQ continuing through highs. ES looks okay. So far, it's just NVIDIA that I'm watching that's holding on to the bid.
I didn't even look at NVIDIA.
So it's kind of a weird one because I expected a little bit more out of the NASDAQ here. Not the NASDAQ. I expected more out of Tesla here. It's filling in that gap. Must be some strength elsewhere because I'm not really seeing it across the board. Just got to try to find where it is. Apple looks like Apple up 1%. Anytime I'm not sure why the market is holding up really well or doing something, just pull up Apple, just pull up Meta, just pull up like a Softy or Amazon, Google, and then maybe that'll give the indication. So Tesla's trying to fill the gap in. All I can do is try to be patient and wait for it to get down into the other buy zone at 412 to 410. It's halfway there. That's where we're going to look for the next bit of a bid. Holding on just barely is NVIDIA. Not much going on here. I just saw someone saying SMCI is strong. Maybe we look over to that one.
Palantir dipped pretty good. Wow.
Palantir to 77. Wow, SMCI is up 13%.
Everything is falling pretty good. All right, so just real quick here. So we are into Tesla. We talked about that, but there it is, out again, breaking through the 200 period. So we are actually fine on that name. We'll stay green on it, but yeah, giving some back. There is no doubt about that as it comes back in. But it's at a level where I think we can maybe talk about it. We said if Palantir comes down into 74, remember we had mentioned there for Palantir, but it's coming back in pretty good right now into 77. That was a level that we had talked about. We did not actually write it onto our sticky note, but we like a 77 take maybe here on PLTR. So let's get a little bit more. We just hold that 76 and change bottom there, but you're falling out. It's at the 200 period. Those dips into 76.50. Wow. All right, 76 maybe. Yeah, let's hold out here for Palantir, but we are getting into a spot now where I think it's hopefully going to be that buy that we all hope that that can be. So right now, Palantir long 77.05s. We'll put some offers out at 20s. There it goes. So a nice little win for us again. And of course, Tesla, we get out at the very bottom. So congratulations pretty much to me on that one. As there it goes right back up to the upside, but never fear because Palantir is here. So there it goes. Nice move back up to the upside. We finally take that one for the winner that it is right now. Palantir up 50 cents. Oh, almost up 50 cents there. Stops. I'm going to get some out at 44s if we can. Oh no, did we just turn that stock around? No, we did not. There it is, 77.44. Nice out there for Palantir again. Good dip by opportunity. Oh man, there about Tesla. Good job if you held on to it. We'll stay green, but yeah, definitely yikes right there on Tesla. SMR, I wanted to get back in on a 22 break. Let's give this one to 21.50.
And look, SMR looking pretty solid again. I think if it can hold, maybe it'll take it the second time. A lot of times the breakout at the open, you got to be careful because liquidity is not going to be the same. But if it gets up there again and breaks the top, I don't mind it. NVIDIA, still think it's like Friday. Just because you like a 141 break didn't mean you didn't like a 142. And I feel the same thing about the breakout at 150. So 149 pre-market high broke when it held the low. Now we'll look for a 150 breakout as well. All-time high 152.89. So if this goes into that range, I'd expect there to be some sellers up there, some profit takers. The other chip name that we're watching closely is AMD. I'm not in it. We're in NVIDIA instead. But this just tried to break $130 and pulling back in. So just watch out there. A little bit of a top put in on AMD, but NVIDIA looking absolutely fine as we speak. Let's go over to Adara.
So it looks like for SMCI, I was trying to find some news on this. It just seems to be overall hype, for lack of a better term, on social media. I did look to see if they were attending CES, which we know a lot of semiconductor companies are set to attend. They're not in the directory. So it doesn't seem like this is a CES catalyst unless it is just, I guess, overall sentiment. We know NVIDIA is on watch here with Jensen Huang's keynote, but lots of social media attention here for SMCI up 15%. Again, though, if I do see anything, I will definitely let you know. Back to you.
SMCI.
Yeah.
So SMCI, absolute rocket ship, but the quantum names are back. IonQ makes a break. It is what it is. Like, the nuclear names look poised for a breakout. The quantum names look poised for a breakout. Looks like it's the quantum names going. So 49 up top here on IonQ is come and gone. Rigetti is back on the block. And it is, wow, it's probably going to break 21 even. Just an absolute rocket ship. You can't say enough about the run that these stocks have been on, whether they make money or not. And spoiler alert, none of them make any money yet. The revenues are tiny, but it doesn't matter. This is pure squeeze play. So I like this Rigetti. That's for a join. Every time it goes up, we got to try to grab it. I'm going to pivot from SMR. It just feels like these ones are going to be a little bit stronger here today. Look for a 20 dip buy on Rigetti and a 21 break.
And there it is again. It's a cash cow. Is up. What's up, Ozan and everybody else that's in there right there. There's another $1 for us on Palantir. I mean, it just dipped in right into our level, and we took it. So, I'm just mad. We don't even have a loser. Well, our loser's SMR, but I'm kind of upset. Upset is an interesting word to use, but like the fact that Tesla's all the way back up, I mean, it's great. We know there's a lot of traders here that are really loving Tesla, and it's been a great trade, obviously, year to date and even today. But, I should have this long there on Tesla, and I don't. So we did dump it, and that's just a call that we made, right? Obviously, sometimes you'll look back and be like, no, what have we done? But for that one on Tesla, that's kind of what I have right now. But back up to 420. I think we can look at that 418 level. That was a level that I had looked at initially initially thinking that it was going to hold, but just bounced off VWAP one more time there. So Tesla going to be one of those interesting plays. Again, looking to hold. Will it? I mean, I think it's worth a try back into there, but with the market at highs and Tesla going the other way, sometimes we have to look ourselves in the mirror and be like, maybe it's just not the right play right there. And we've gotten some out here on Palantir. We're out of about 50% of it. Good move up there into VWAP. That's what we were waiting for. We should have got out of more. Okay, here comes Tesla right back in again. Fubo TV for us, by us. Again, just hovering around VWAP, I think worth another out right here. I'm going to take that opportunity to get a piece out on Fubo as well.
Yeah, we're starting to really reverse in here a little bit. So VWAP is starting to come in on NVIDIA. We still had that breakout trade. Let me just go ahead and cancel the breakout. I feel like a dip into VWAP is what's happening right now, so we don't have to worry about that breakout just yet. So as long as we hold a prior low, going to look to reload. It is 9:45. Quickly, let's go to the desk. We've got numbers.
We do have some numbers here. S&P Services PMI coming in at 56.8. So lower here than the forecast of 58.5. S&P Composite PMI coming in also a little bit lower here than the previous print, 55.4 versus 56.6 expected. Factory orders month for month are going to be on watch for 10 a.m., so we'll give you that data. We know we did also have comments from Fed's Cook earlier today, but we still have this is the Qs here, continuing to chop higher, up about 1.4% right now. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Adair. And sort of as we were talking there, bounce on NVIDIA off of both VWAP and 149 even, actually a little bit more cleanly off of the 149, the wick underneath VWAP. If we lose VWAP, I think I want to jump away from this trade, but as long as we're able to hold on to it, I'm going to like it. There were a couple of small cap names that we did not get to. One of them was ARBE, and it had looked pretty bullish in the pre-market, but this looks the other way now. Unfortunately, failed to break out at the open, fail underneath VWAP, failing underneath the $4 level. I just feel like this one turns into a bit of a short trade for me here, failing underneath VWAP. I like the 420 level to the downside. When these things fail an initial break, I look for a gap fill, and the ARBE certainly looking like it wants to do that. All we're in is NVIDIA, because that's the long that's, I mean, it broke out and it's kind of just been holding higher lows ever since.
Oh, good.
Next play, I think, is going to be that 150 break. I'm going to throw that stop order back in, so we're going long again above the 150 level on NVIDIA. Only crossing a little bit here. Liquidity's been good on these breakouts.
Yeah, we don't have, okay, we're going to get some more out here on Palantir. I was going to say, I didn't get enough out on Palantir, but it just failed through 78, so we'll get some more right there right now. Looks like Tesla's going to make that run at 417. That's our out, or 417, yeah. So here it comes in. We're long at 418. Obviously, we'll take that dollar hit if it does come through. We don't want to. Here it comes. Get me something out at 90s if we can get it. Ooh, nice little bounce back. We still want to hold this to see if we, no, we just missed it. Okay, there it goes. All right, back through 418 now. Again, this is where we're long. I'm waiting at 4. Let's go at 418.85. See if we can get something out up. Okay, see if we can get something out on the upside right now as Tesla trying to make a move a little bit higher now. Bouncing again off that same level. We got a little bit early there trying to break through the 200 period, but we did get a dip buy. We did take something out there at 418, but at the end of the day, we only took out 10% there. So if it fails back through 417, then we're gone. I like Tesla long. And the market's starting to go up and we're at the bottom. So maybe kind of similar to, I guess, that NVIDIA trade there, trying to see about, you know, can we hold some of these levels before we really get that huge break? I mean, NVIDIA's looking a lot better than Tesla, to be honest with you right there, breaking this 149.70. That's looking pretty healthy for that possibility. But there goes Tesla right now. So just talk a little bit negatively about it, and it goes back up there. So we just took some out at 80. Let's see what happens here for Tesla. Still not trading the greatest.
Yeah, and it's not just Tesla. Like I looked over, Rivian is decidedly red, although Tesla is a much better company than Rivian, decidedly red, and Rivian was one that had a very big, strong move on Friday. It's trying to pull into prior resistance. So like I think like if this one can hold, I have 15 jotted down here, 1565. Those are levels worth watching. The other name that's starting to come in here, didn't really think we'd get a 170 test on Boeing. But Boeing giving up a lot of the gap so far, down at 171.5. It's about $1 away from quadruple testing the $170 level here on Boeing. So I think we have a chance to pick this one up. We'll see when it gets down there. And then as I saw Zeno in the chat mentioning when I said Rivian wasn't having a good day. Lucid has pulled back in as well. So the EV names, I guess, just following Tesla to the downside. NVIDIA's about to break 150 bucks. I was gonna make
nice?
I was gonna make a note. We'll go back and talk about it, Fubo, in a quick little bit, but I do think 150 is about to break here on NVIDIA. Still holding a piece from this recent dip buy, but I'm taking the break at 150 on NVIDIA. All-time high, 152.89.
Yeah,
everybody.
great.
I think there's a decent chance we can see that today. About $1.5 million on the bid here of 150, but it shouldn't matter.
Yeah, great trade there on NVIDIA. We wish we were in that one as well. Okay, so SMR's not doing anything. Tesla's not doing anything either, as it's all NVIDIA's world right now. So we'll get out of Tesla if it goes down. There's 150. I'm pretty sure I have this break in there, but I probably have to reset it. All right, so here it goes. Trying to break through 150. It looks like it will get it right now. I don't want to miss it if it does go. All right, so here's a 150 break possible right now on NVDA. It looks like it's going to be coming through. That's about 1 million. Okay, see ya. About 1 million shares there, I thought, or so at one point. We are now long only at 15s now on NVIDIA. So let's get something out here in the 30s, I believe, as our quotes are a little bit haywire right now, but you just look up here and see the quote. So it's really not that big of a deal. 150 25s. We got some out there. I'm not sure what my best out was. It looks like 30s as of right now. So not anything special here yet on NVIDIA.
Yeah, so you're 100% right about that. It is 30. That was the best print up there. Prior highs was 149.75. So sometimes it does that where it's about 1-to-1. Look, all out of the dip buy into VWAP and the 149s and only in the 150 break. But if it loses 149.75, then I'm lined up right back in here at VWAP. So you scalp some out, look for the pullback. If it does not hold on to the prior high, jump out and look for VWAP in there. So I'm not trying to hold it all the way back into VWAP. I'd rather cover. It gave you a good, I mean, it's a good breakout. I can't really complain about the break in terms of the volume that was there. It's just not a lot of follow through. So we'll wait back in here on VWAP if we're able to get it. Okay, there goes Rigetti.
Really?
So we'll get back to NVIDIA in a quick little second. Rigetti pulling back into the $20 level. So we like Rigetti. Just want to pick it back up into both prior resistance in the afternoon, but the VWAP more importantly, and then some prior highs. So I want to give this multiple chances. You know this with Rigetti, like if you only need it to go once on these quantum names, and obviously they've had their day a little bit here. So Rigetti, the only new position, and we'll try to get back into NVIDIA. Either a re-break of the 150 or a VWAP trade, one way or the other. We're not giving up on that long.
All right, I like that attitude. Yeah, let's try to stay in the right names. That is for sure, and one of the number one lessons that we try to do here, and I try to do anyways. And it looks like NVIDIA does give a dip buy opportunity, but not enough for us to really do anything about it. So we'll wait to see if we can get something a little bit lower for NVIDIA. I'm trying to play off that VWAP, as Neil mentioned, down there as well. Tesla does unfortunately fail that last little attempt to hold out. So we said that if that does not hold, that we wanted to exit stage left, and that we did do for sure. So it's just NVIDIA that's failing right now. Palantir, good outs again, makes that move higher. We are in a little bit less of that now, only 30% left of Palantir. Fubo is kind of going the other way, guys. So if you're in some Fubo right now, watch out. Trying to break back down near try to break down now here through $3 right there. We got the last piece out, or we have a small piece left at VWAP, which was at 340. So watch out for possibly a move down there in Fubo. Okay, we did not get that dip buy in NVIDIA, but it is trying to make a move back upside here, still long at 150 and change. Anything else you guys want us to look at? We are here for that. But right now it's NVIDIA's on my mind. Maybe we'll try to dip by a little bit at 149.50. We'll add about another 20% to this position if it does get down there.
Yeah, and just quickly, I saw in the chat someone said, LV, don't forget about your AMD alerts. Look, obviously, NVIDIA has caught most of the attention. AMD, at the open, apparently it did wick down to 128, but it didn't last very long down at that price. So the opportunity to grab it was, let's just say, a little bit slim on AMD. So I like the hold there, but NVIDIA is just stronger at this moment. I didn't get the dip buy off VWAP. So it looks like NVIDIA wants to retake that 150 level. Might just have to respect the trend here. And if it holds on trend, just buy the dip off the trend line. So there's your trend line, something like this. And might have to pick it up at the $0.50 instead. So still plenty of time. It's only 9:55 So really, we have all day for this to go. Rigetti, we picked it up off the $20 level. It's right back in trying to retest those highs. So we just got to fill at 2060, 21 even on Rigetti.
21.
Well, it's okay. It's not there yet.
No, but
21
still,
even is a double top breakout here on RGTI. This is one I don't want to add on a break. Let's just let this one go. I don't think I want to add on a break of 21. I think I want to continue to work off the 20s and buying dips on Rigetti. I always feel better buying dips than taking breaks on a stock like this. Too many like bamboozlement breakouts, and then you just wait for one little dip and try to get in that way.
I love that, the bamboozlement breakouts. Okay, so yeah, we did miss that opportunity, it looks like, to pick up the bottom there in NVIDIA, so too bad. We'll get some more out here for flats in around 150, and then we'll wait to see what can happen from there. Look, Palantir gave us another out, so we took it again, right? Like back up here around 78.50, 78.60, we like that trade. All right, so we have Adara back at the desk. What's up, A?
Look for SciSpark this morning here. SPRC up about 100+% here with 3.6 million share float, announcing alongside Clearmind Medicine CMND, they have gotten this publication of a European patent application for binge behavior. So patent application here for SPRC and CMND. Keep an eye on these tickers, guys. Also SMH, I'm seeing pop up with volume. So that's, of course, with the semis, definitely one to watch.
All right, thank you,
There's 420 again.
Yeah.
Roads
Oh,
lead
did
to
it come back?
420.
Oh no. Oh, that was. And again, we got stopped out near the bottom again of that name, but we got to keep getting stopped out. Oh, too bad. So we waited for NVIDIA to go. Now NVIDIA's kind of going the other way right now and coming way back in. We got a little touch down there. We talked about trying to get a little bit more into that area. We are more excited, of course, about a little bit lower. Where did I put my bid? I thought I put a bid a little bit lower than this. All right, we're gonna have to figure out where we're thinking about buying this, because that VWAP right into there is 148. 149 break. I don't want to be in this if it's going to break that. So yeah, a little bit lower before we get a little bit more. So 149, like 15s or so.
Bitcoin 100K.
And we'll average in. Yeah, that's what he was saying. 101 right now. Bitcoin is going ham right
And it's
there.
MSTR that is
SMR.
definitely going with it. So MSTR high of the day. For anyone looking at MSTR, it's regained the 50 period. The reason I didn't add this one up is felt like this chance to break out was more like a 370, 368, 370. But with Bitcoin through that 100,000 mark, you got to watch them. I'm not seeing anything that looks that great on any of the mining names either, except for the Mara break at 2070, which is still a good 50 cents away. So Mara, I still like it up here for a breakout. I guess I should just put it back in, and if it gets there, we'll go for the break. I canceled this one at the open because it wasn't doing anything. But now that it's held that 20 level, let's see if we can't get this breakout at some point here on MARA. So I'm just going to make sure we have that in. There it is on the 15-minute. Go back to the 19th and the 20th on a 15 to find that breakout trade. I am in that ARBE. It just feels like this one's on the backside. It was a big-time runner, but since the open, lower high, lower high, lower high. So I'm going to take each lower high as it stair steps down into the prior. So we're short 4 with this 425 stop. NVIDIA's pulling into VWAP.
Yes,
Rigetti's about to break that 21 even, but we're holding through the break. It's more NVIDIA at VWAP that's interesting to me. Nice trend up on NVIDIA, 3% to the NASDAQ's 1.3. We want to stay long NVIDIA, as that's the one looking good. So shout out to everyone in the crypto space. Man, that Bitcoin looking fantastic right now.
Yeah, that NVIDIA is huge. I think we're going to Adara.
Yes? No?
No? Okay. No, we are not. My bad. All right, yeah, that NVIDIA would have been the right play. That is, for sure, good call on trying to hold on to the stronger names there with Tesla as well. But here comes NVIDIA. I'm doing the same thing, trying to wait. We're long at 149.70. It looks like it is trying to give it up all the way back into the downside. So slippery slope here with NVIDIA, just trying to hold on. I want to play strong. So if this one does not work, it does not work. We tried to play strong with Palantir as well. That, again, was a little bit of a downside play early. We talked about 77 and why we liked it. We said on Friday we saw this, we weren't here, but we just zoomed back out and saw that, hey, 77 also had some issues on Friday, and we know that Palantir has the opportunity to do this. So we were, again, luck or not, we were sitting there waiting for this trade to come in. So we got filled first. That was at 77.11 or so. Then it broke in down between. We bought it back, breaking back through. Play the momentum there to the high side. NVIDIA's getting a little bit better. I might take some more out here at 40 if we can get that. There it is right now, because our price, although not great, not horrible, considering it's not working out for us. So let's see if we can get some more out here on NVIDIA, and hopefully this name can continue to moon. Break through that 50 marker. That's the first step, Neil. There it goes, 54. Now we get a little bit higher now on NVIDIA, long at 63s. But we take some out there at 50, but then look at that rejection.
Yeah, it just rejected it pretty hard. I was sitting at, oh, that's a bad. I'm just going to move my order there. I see Amazon, I'm moving my order 250 to get some out on NVIDIA if it gets there the second time. I just looked over and saw some weakness in this market. We're blasting through highs and holding higher lows, but I look over, Amazon is unable to get through VWAP. We've been talking about what's been strong pretty much all morning long, and we're going to go over to Darren in a quick little second. But I don't like where we broke down here on Amazon. Failed break at a very key close there from the 26th. 227. This market turns. Amazon is in the wrong bucket. Let's go to Adara. We got happening now. Let's go, NVIDIA.
Thank God, NVIDIA. Save me.
A few seconds here till we get these prints for 10 a.m. Factory orders month over month coming in exactly in line with estimates. Negative 0.4% versus negative 0.4% expected. Core durable goods revised a little bit higher than expected, negative 0.2%. Oh, sorry, lower than expected. So we got negative 0.2%. We were expecting positive 0.3%. So lower than expected core durable goods revised here. Also lower than expected durable goods revision number here, negative 1.2% versus negative 0.4% expected. So to clarify, the revised durable goods prints both lower than expected, and the factory orders month over month print exactly flat in line with expectations. So keep an eye here on the NASDAQ, continuing to try to push higher, up about 1.5% today. Definitely led by a lot of strength in the semiconductors. We talked about SMH being very strong. Other names to keep an eye on here. DJT making days highs here, up almost 4%. Donald Trump, very active on Trump or Truth Media this morning. We know we actually did share a post with regards to tariffs, saying that this report suggesting a pared back tariff policy is untrue and calling it fake news. We also had SMCI, one of the semiconductors on watch. From what I can tell, they're not slated to appear at CES 2025, which is one of the catalysts for these names. But be aware here, SMCI up about 12.5%. NVIDIA with the keynote tonight at CES, and we're also going to have names like Micron, Marvell slated to attend. Back to you.
It's funny, we'll have one negative.
Micron was a strong mover too.
Yeah. So and like
actually, Micron's actually up 10%.
Up 10%.
Micron's the strongest chip.
Oh wow, that we missed. We definitely missed that one. So here's NVIDIA again, man, right back to 150. We take advantage of that play. We still got a lot of shares on right now. We got a 150.40 there, believe it or not. We have a 150.39 fill right there, right at the high of the day. Like we were just sitting there for that fill. We actually have 150.39 in our account. That's like sometimes it's like you get wicked high. We got the very high of the day right there. So that one right there, I don't know how that came through. So I'll say, oh my God for that. We'll offer again at 50s, as I said, and just try to like piece it out as we continue to go up a little bit here through some of these levels, I'm hoping anyways, and try to hold some of them to the upside. Shaking my head with SMR, still not doing anything. We did get something out at 22.20s there, but again, that was off of buying 22 break early. We did have this breakout. I thought it was going to go, did not. Fail, fail, fail. Now fail again on SMR, but it's all NVIDIA's world today for me, and here it comes right back up. So this is like a day. I said to Neil, thank God, it like basically made my day, because if that falls through and breaks VWAP there with the amount of shares, then it definitely turns the stock red for us, and that's what that is right now. So hey guys, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Over 10,000 of you right now watching. Big winners today in Fubo. I mean, if you came here for Fubo, you had to be here early. Huge move for that one. Now trying to pan out. Maybe we do hold $3. It's Fubo, but we're waiting for NVIDIA to get spicy here again as well. Hold that 150, but hold it to the north side, man. Stop rejecting 150 NVIDIA. We're 80 cents in the money. I'm taking out another piece here at 95.
Yeah, those breaks at 150, like every single time it does this breakout, we're like, okay, if the buyers step in, I think we get that all-time high. But every time it gets back under, I just take some more out. So I think VWAP is the way to go here on NVIDIA. Tesla's still tracking you. It's not really looking that good on Tesla. But as mentioned, It's Micron's world, and we're all just living in it, up that 10% right now. It could track to $100 here on Micron. Just caveat, $100 is the 50-period moving average plus a big round number on MU. So super strong move for a lot of chip names in here today, and don't want to ignore any of them. Obviously, NVIDIA does such tremendous volume. This is going to be one that everyone wants to trade. AMD trying to break highs, maybe not as strong as well. I still have my breakout set on Intel because I think it's in a bottoming pattern. No break at 21 yet on Rigetti, but VWAP sits at $20. We're long once at $20. If it gets down there again, we'll keep going long off the $20 level. So you got the quantum names going as well. I think you got some strength here. Dipesh saying, why are people ignoring Dell? Apologies.
What's going on?
We can't cover absolutely everything. I know there's a lot of rocket ships to the upside, but Dell's volume is just not nearly as good as what you're going to see in a lot of these other tech names. So it's up 3% today, though I can give you a whole list of names that are up 2 to 3%. So you just got to go where the volume is. 1.5 million, not enough for me. I don't think it's a bad stock. But ultimately, when you're trading, you want to look at where the action is. And I don't necessarily see it on Dell for the day trade. Still a good stock. Hedera.
Another name to the upside is Funware, PHUN. We know DJT has been pretty strong. Donald Trump pretty active on Truth Social. We know Funware is also part of the mechanism of building that brand, building some of Donald Trump's campaigns back in the 2020 campaign. So keep an eye here in PHUN with a 9.3% short float, 11.7 million share float. I'm not seeing any individual catalyst for this name. Only 1.1 million shares traded on the day, but PHUN definitely in watch today, guys.
We're trying to be all over the place here with everything, and we like Neil had mentioned
it
there.
Ain't no fun.
It ain't no fun unless you're in funware. What was that? What was the song you're trying?
Well, I can't. If the homies can't, you know what I'm. You know.
Yeah. Okay,
it ain't no. Yeah, whatever. It's not that appropriate. When you try to clean up a song in your head when you only know the other version of it,
you can't like find that next one.
Bad things can happen. I know there's a clean version of it, but I don't have that off the top of my head. So just I'm in one short, and it's ARBE. It's actually ARBE something limited, believe it or not. It's not an even creative name for the company, but 420 support to resistance to resistance. I'm going to try to play this back into prior lows. Fubo is, a little Snoop and Warren, and Nate Dogg there. Yep. Rest in peace, Nate Dogg. Fubo tried to hold VWAP once, couldn't do so. It's still in a bit of a bottoming pattern, but it just double tapped $3 even. I think maybe it's put in its bottom at the open. I tried the first dip, and we still wanted to have dips after the open. We tried the first dip. Now you double bottom 3. If this can get above VWAP, I'm going to like it, or we just try to go for the third time off of VWAP here on Fubo. NVIDIA is still looking good. Rigetti still looking good. Tesla is now into the other zone, which is getting close to that 410. So filling in the gap to prior highs is Tesla. Maybe this is going to be it. Let's give it one more chance to double tap this prior high in here, because it filled in the gap. I think the longs, I thought 410, but I guess it looks like 412 is the one that's going to hold. It's just the chip names that are continuing to go here. Chip, Quantum looking very strong. Tesla, while still up 1%, that doesn't really tell the full story.
Tesla should be up higher than that. Okay, so we're going to get out some more Palantir. It's just hovering around. I mean, I'm going to look at today Fubo, NVIDIA, Palantir, SMR, and Tesla, as NVIDIA is still leading the way also there, up through 150. We got some more outs. I would really like to see this. Where's Jay Lee and where's some of the guys there from the chat that were really, and there was a few of you last week. It wasn't Hamster, but there was some of you that were really nailed some of the levels here on NVIDIA. The only thing I could talk about is 152.89. I mean, that was right there. There we go. We just got the high of the day again, I believe. Oh, no, it just came in. 150.36 is. All right, we'll see if we can get another fill up there. I'm actually at 150.43s randomly right now as well. So here we go. Continues to move. Good trade there on Rigetti. We did talk. Okay, go. Breaking the high of the day for NVIDIA. Then I'll stop. Get some out at 150.50, then stop getting some out and see if we can continue to go. It's $1 plus. right now. So a good day so far. Boeing looks like it's curling up there off that 170 mark. Again, maybe that's low, right? I mean, we came into there on Friday. We bounced around a little bit. Today we get to the upside, try to hold. I think that 170 seems to be pretty reasonable, as of course they can't get out of their own way with some of the negativity across the stories. So you got to wait out for Boeing. Hopefully now we're through some of that and it can continue its sort of ascend northbound. I think the Trump regime there will be good. Administration, I guess, will be good for that. So we'll have to wait. There goes NVIDIA again, right back into the 50s. We said we'd hold it out just for a little bit. This is a monster stock, man. It can be P&L number one for me today. We are going to be red, unfortunately, on Tesla. We had a big trade early on it. Then we're barely red, but we are. We tried it there, lost on that last little take through 414. But there it comes, Neil. You mentioned it. It's not telling the story because Tesla today, you'd be like, oh, it's with the market, but not really. Market at highs and Tesla hovering around lows. The story is with NVIDIA right now. We have over 10,000 views, as I hear in my ear right now. So I want to say thank you to everybody. I have to refresh this to get the number of likes, but hit the like. There it is, 10.5 right now. Thank you so much to everybody for watching on what's been a pretty aggressive day, especially for long portfolios. ES up today 1.1. A NASDAQ is the 1.5. Really starting to go. There it is right now, man. Portfolios rejoice because we still got on about a quarter of this position right here. Get some more out at 55, 56 there as NVIDIA really making it start to work here today. NVIDIA, Palantir, both monster trades there. And then Fubo just hovering around.
It's trying. It's trying.
And then SMR is not trying. But
definitely Fubo has caught a bit of a buyer here at the $3 level. It's just trying to get through that VWAP. It can't seem to do it. This is VWAP on a 3-minute starting at 6 o'clock. So, if it's different on your chart, my parameters are data starts at 6 a.m. But I think the $3 level is looking good. You just have to either hold and break out here and we can look for the 350s again, or we wait for the $3. Its volume is 200 million shares on Fubo. So it's going to be a runner all day long. Hopefully, as long as $3 can hold. So NVIDIA, I think at this point, look for the next trend dip buy, like 150. It was 149, like breakout 149, dips into 149, dips into VWAP. If we never see VWAP again, then I think 150 is where you look for the next available dip. So 152.89 is the target. That's the all-time high. And then look for a pullback. Let's see if 150 and another higher low can get put in on NVIDIA. I don't like what I see anymore. Well, I should double check it in a second. It's not as much bullishness happening in AMD. So not all chips are alike in a day like today. Obviously SMCI, Micron, NVIDIA looking fantastic. A little bit of weakness, I think, elsewhere. And someone in the chat said, can you read Apple? Kind of sideways here. Apple is less than half of what the NASDAQ is right now. And I don't like it because this support at 146 is turning into some resistance here on Apple. If it can take out that top, I think great gap to be filled in. But I'm waiting around. If we're going to stay bearish on Apple right now, then 280, 238, 239 on the 50 period looks like a golden zone. Try to buy. Prior high in the daily. I mean, if Apple continues to be this weak, you want to dip buy good stock. Sometimes it's a bit of a gift when it gives it to you. All right, Tesla. Here comes 410. It's,
410. Well, at least we.
It is what it is.
At least we stayed away.
Like Tesla it's like the V shape. It goes up $1 million, it comes down.
$1 million.
Not $1 million. You know what I mean.
Yeah,
it was such a crazy day on Friday to the upside. I'd be shocked if it fills in all the way to like a 400. But first stop is this 410 level. We wanted to wait for it to get into this zone for the dip buy and then look for this little mean reversion here on Tesla. Tried it above 420 and it didn't work, so you have to wait for the next gap.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking something similar there with basically SMR has just gapped down. So we talk about Tesla losing it. I mean, right now we're going to be pretty much out of, NVIDIA is just a monster. Like, you always wish you had more shares of the best names, which is so stupid of me. We should have more shares down there. But no, you know what? Position that I took was completely fine there. I'm not going to worry about the position sizing on NVIDIA. It's just always when it comes up to the top, you look back. And we say this all the time, so it doesn't really matter. It's a broken record. But it's like, oh, why don't I hold a little bit more? But you got to trade within your own parameters. And again, that's something that we both like to focus on here. And that is that to try to get in and out based based on what you're seeing, right? And I mean, right there, we did pretty good to hold all of this. We still have a decent position on board right now, probably about 15%, as NVIDIA right now is $2, and so is Palantir, which, by the way, like, I'm actually a little bit more proud of Palantir because we don't have any issues here at all. It's pretty smooth sailing for PLTR. Everything came into play for us. We got to 77, then we took some out immediately for 50 cents. You guys saw me. We were literally trading this, as my kids say, literally trading this on the air with you, and then we waited for VWAP and we got out. Then we waited for the 50 period, and now we're up here at the 200 period. So a much easier sort of position for me to take and to understand on that one. SMR looks like, yeah, we'll shake our head a little bit at this one too, because here we come back upside. Let's punch a little bit more out as SMR making us a little bit more money now back up. I'm waiting for 99s. Give me those 99s right now on SMR. Just before, oh, can we get it? We are sitting there right now. Can we get a fill? The answer apparently is no. So we'll wait to see. Hopefully SMR just goes for a little bit of a run.
Yes, we can.
Go. Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Nice, Neil. Say, yeah, okay. Nope.
No,
Didn't get it. No, didn't get it yet. But we'll get it. We'll get it. I like that. All right, so we'll see if we can get that just ahead. Yeah, sometimes. Oh, yeah, yeah. Here, where's that do something thing?
There it is.
All right. No.
There's a sound that goes with that?
Yeah, there's a sound. Yeah, it did not work.
Who knew?
I might have to get out at some point on this one as well, but there it goes. We'll see SMR hopefully. Oh, did we just get it there? No, we did not. Oh, we'll get it soon. There it is. There we go. We do get some there on SMR. Just some. There it goes. Now we get it all. As there it goes, breaking through. Yes, sir. It's NVIDIA ripping faces. There's NVIDIA. So NVIDIA, Neil, is $2 right now, right, in the money. Palantir is $2 now in the money right now. SMR is trying to go, and then it's Fubo time right now as well. We'll just continue to watch out for this. I did not expect this kind of a move upside on SMR. Let's take out some more here in the teens if we can.
Yeah, good move on SMR. We've now finally got an upper trend on Rigetti, so it's made a nice little higher low in here, so I've got the trend line set. We didn't get that 20 rebuy, but you can see very clearly, stair step to the upside, 11% up on Rigetti. There are no levels on the daily because it's a blue sky setup. It's already through all those prior highs. So we're going to go stop out here underneath the trend at 2080, and then look for dip buys on the trend line on a 3-minute chart. NVIDIA, you've already said, is going.
Yeah,
Tesla, trying to put in that mean revert. It just closed above prior bar. So, all right, Tesla, since VWAP, there's your trend down. Here's your hold above the trend at 415. And we'll see if we can't weasel our way into this one off the 415 level and then try to get out maybe back under the 414.5. I think we'll try to buy on strength here and play into VWAP and 420 as you finally filled in. Well, you've finally actually broken this downward trend in Tesla since VWAP. So up 1%, but that's not necessarily, again, telling us that full story. NVIDIA looking great. Love to see Apple join the party. I feel like if Apple can break out through that 246, that's all kinds of good signs for this year market. So come on, Tesla. Let's see if we can get a little something back here. It hasn't been a good day for Tesla, but if we can get to VWAP, that makes it a little better.
Yeah, more outs there. I still like that. Rigetti, we still got, I mean, Palantir, we might as well. I mean, we just, let's let all these things settle down. Like I said, remember I said I was getting like a little bit overwhelmed here earlier today. And we, like, so much so that I still have like half of this coffee left here. It's getting a little cold. I might have to.
Probably freezing cold.
It's not so bad. It's not so bad there. I'm feeling pretty confident, by the way, about Josh Allen. I think you guys have the biggest spread into next week against a rookie quarterback. I think that's a great look for you guys.
I think we're good. Yeah, I'm not
into next week.
I'm feeling pretty good about it.
We got to go. Like, I think we got to go to the best team in the NFC with Philly.
I'm kind of hoping. I don't know what I'm hoping your quarterback's healthy.
Oh yeah. I don't think.
I didn't see what happened. Elbow?
Yeah, no. I mean, it didn't really matter. I mean, it always matters if you win or lose.
Yes.
But unfortunately, Washington wound up beating the Cowboys anyways, which.
Well, obviously.
Yeah. Sharif, man, get
you guys were
together over there, man.
Look, Sharif. We love Sharif. Does a great job on the midday. You guys saw him all in the morning.
He is great. We absolutely love Sharif.
But Adara low-key roasted the you-know-what out of Sharif this morning and his Cowboys. And it was absolutely brilliant because Adara didn't even know that she was roasting the Cowboys. She was basically talking about how she watched the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. And they were crying over how bad the team is doing. You know you stink if the cheerleaders are crying.
Yeah,
there. But you know what?
Did you see the Dallas cheerleader got hit in the head there the other day?
Well, hey man, it's a difficult environment out there. It's a dangerous job, man.
You got to watch. I mean, there's hazard
bodies flying.
Hazard.
It's a dangerous job shorting this market. That's
What is that show? What is that show?
I don't even know the name.
I don't know. I heard multiple people.
Well, first of all, where do you watch that show?
I didn't even know Ramin was here, actually. What the?
Hi, Ramin.
Hey, Ramin.
Good morning.
Were you? Okay. I'm going to try to request a coffee here. Do we have to go to the desk at all, or am I hearing things again? Which is
Not yet.
Man, damn shrooms. No. Okay, so let's just keep on going then to the north side and say thank you again for everybody joining us, man. I mean, this is what we do every single day. We have a lot of fun. We talk sports. We talk, if Obi's here, we still talk a little bit of sports, but, yay, sports. There goes Palantir, by the way, to the upside. We're taking some more out. Things are really starting to rip now, Neil. I mean, this is, if you're not having fun in this market, then exit stage left, basically, because this has been an absolute blast of a day here today. The only thing was Tesla, which was a little bit of a problem. But look at that take there on Palantir, 77. We just got out at the high of the day. I mean, just let your runners run, baby, and you're all good here today. It's been a little bit of a tough one to try to get that bottom. I know you were just talking about that Tesla down there. Nice recovery, almost V-shaped completely off of what could be that exhaustion candle down there to 411. So yeah, watch out, be careful here as we continue to go higher. I'm taking more out of NVIDIA, man. I mean, we have to, 2 and change. We're very, very light on Palantir. We have 5% left. So I'm going to try to tell you what we have left and what we don't. So we just got, first step, second step, third step out. So we are getting lighter and lighter on all these positions, and I'm thinking about something similar here on NVIDIA as SMR pulls back as well. So good outs on a couple of these names, trying to make a little bit better decisions right now. Punch some more out right there at 20, get it, and now we'll hold on. But more outs there for NVIDIA as we have about 10% left there as well.
Yeah, this market is looking fantastic, and there you go. Some breakouts to the top. Even AMD starting to catch a bit of a wind. Just for everyone that's watching, I'm going to pull up IBIT. I mean, Bitcoin's at 101.50, but I'll show you IBIT and that it's breaking out the local hot. That's not my chart. I think we're on Sean's charts there.
SMR?
Yeah, there's IBIT breaking out that high. So fresh highs through 101.5 on Bitcoin. That's going to drag a lot of things up with it. MSTR, which is now breaking its high of the day, or at least attempting to break its high of the day. I still have, Mara's nowhere close. All right, forget about that one. Mara's nowhere close to a breakout. I think that's disappointing. I like some of the miners because they can go squeezing when you get a strong Bitcoin move, but that's not really happening there. So I have a prior bar low. Well, actually, it's a prior bar high and the current bar low, or now the prior bar low on Tesla for the out. If it can get to VWAP, I still think 420 is a big number, and clearly you're resisting VWAP. There was a consolidation here, 418 to 420, so I want to try to respect that.
How high are we even going?
Rigetti just reverted back underneath trend, so I'm out. We got a 20 dip in 2015. We're out at 2090, and we'll wait for VWAP to come back in here. So this quantum name starting to pull back in. Tesla, only about $1. We're trying to get it into 419 in VWAP. And then NVIDIA, this one hasn't given that much of a dip since the VWAP dip. If this is it, I think we can maybe get back into prior high at that 150. But I got to respect the trend. And I know, it is what it is, but when you buy off VWAP in this situation, I'm pretty much always going to say if it closes underneath the trend line, I get out and then look for the next available dip buy, of which there have been plenty of chances on NVIDIA.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think, we're going to go to Adair. Just got some more SMRs. We broke through $22. So let's go over to Adair, see what he's up to at the big screen.
We take a look here at IWM and these small caps. IWM currently here almost at 226, up about 2/3% in the day, but it is worth noting for that Russell 2000, we are certainly making some lower highs, so be cautious here for potential breakdown for the IWM. So many small caps on watch today. All of these are robotics-related small caps on watch with CES 2025 starting tomorrow. We are expecting a lot of robotics-related news, so ARBE on watch, MBOT, IRBT, RR, and SERV. Serve Robotics here actually having its own catalyst, announcing that they raised $86 million in December to reach a total of $167 million raised in 2024. So great look for SERV with about a 9% short float. SPRC, pretty insignificant short float here, about 1%, but it is worth noting this one, multi-halter on the day, announcing alongside Clearmind Medicine, CMND, that they have published this European patent application for a binge behavior treatment. Last but not least, FUBO. This one, Fubo TV, not necessarily your traditional small cap because it has quite the catalyst. This one with Disney going from initially suing Disney to actually now collaborating with the company. Initially reported by Bloomberg that they're in talks for this deal, and the Fubo TV CEO basically confirming it in a conference call. Basically, these TV businesses are set to combine with Disney to own 70% of Fubo should the deal go through. FUBO. Sean was on this one this morning. Lots to look at in that small cap space yet again, guys.
Yes, sir. And it's now holding on to VWAP a little bit nicer here on Fubo. And as you can see there, it's got the nice rounded bottom off of $3. You now have consecutive holds at that 340 level in here. So we'll try to pick up some 50s. Just wanted to see it hold above and see the buyers emerge above VWAP. I know I always steal this term from Treef, but you know, sometimes you want to weasel your way into it. But this is not weaseling. It's waiting for it to make the rounded bottom. Yeah, it's the same price that it broke earlier, but I think at the open, you're willing to take those because if it makes a bottom here and just a quick snapshot up, in that first 5-10 minutes, you're more apt to get those very, very quick 10-15% type moves, whereas now this time of day, you're looking for a little bit more confirmation when you get into a trade. So the buyer's starting to come back into Fubo. If it can't break that 340, sorry, if it breaks the 340, I think we'd look back to the $3 level. CRNC, oh no, not good. This one's not looking very good, everybody. So this was another gap and go. This kind of looks like it's on the other end of it. I don't think I paid for locates on this. So yeah, it's breaking through pre-market lows. Probably some kind of a gap fill into 20 makes some sense. The other thing that just happened, Boeing just got to 170 again.
Did it?
There is some definite gravity toward this price on Boeing, but like 1, 2, they tested it like 5 times going back to last Thursday, and then it double tapped it on Friday at the close and closed down there. But I'm long for this bounce, and every time it holds the 170 level, I feel like it should be less good, if that makes any sense, right? Like when you bounce off a support level, ultimately it's usually the best the first or second time through. If it loses this level for good, I think you're in a bit of trouble. But this local bottom's 169, I think it's 169.75. That's where my stop is going to be on Boeing. At some point, it might turn into a short underneath that level. That's a pretty big gap to fill.
Yeah, speaking about shorts, where's, you just asked, Randy's like, he's not wearing his jorts though, but we need to get, he's coming with that coffee very, very soon there today. So just despite being already pretty light on some of these positions as we talked about already, I am getting some more out. So we did get some more out there on Palantir. And again, it's just, trade the market, right? It's 10:30 right now. I did want to thank everybody for watching again. We keep on doing this every day. So make sure that if it is your first day that you do come back tomorrow and watch us do this all over again and have this great fun. We are right now pumping out, get over there, pumping out the numbers. So we do have a big show next. It's Joe. It's Sharif. You've heard a little bit about those guys. What are you talking about today?
It's Obi.
Oh, it's Obi today. It's Obi. Where did Sharif go? He's out of here? Oh, okay, good for him. Okay, day off there or afternoon off. I don't know, is he coming back tomorrow? I don't even know. No, he's off tomorrow. Oh, he's off. Okay, he's off. Okay. I don't know when he's back, but join Sharif when he's back. But for now, it'll be Obi and Joe coming through today. So what are you guys talking about this afternoon?
We are talking about volume price analysis.
Volume price analysis. Thank you guys for that. So join that volume price analysis with Joe and Obi. They'll go over some.
Hit the like and subscribe button.
Yeah, exactly. Hit that like and that subscribe. Keep the good times flowing in and around here. But all I was getting at is just, there's going to be one show. Neil and I will be back at 2 o'clock. You'll have the Midday Madness where they'll do a little different style trading, but still similar, right? Talking about levels of interest, looking at what stocks you guys want to look at, and hopefully riding. You don't want to eat too many hot dogs, of course, but there goes NVIDIA right now. Monster trade alert on this name. I can't believe we just got some out around 151 as you continue to go upside right now. It's the monster. It's NVIDIA, and it's just really barking there today. Fubo, 50 cents in the money off that bottom, but we only have like less than 5% left of Fubo, so we're just chilling on that one. NVIDIA's a good one. Palantir, we got another piece out. We're going to wait. SMR trying to go. Tesla right now as well at VWAP is where I'd be interested. That's going to be 420 is a 200 period. Wait to do that level before we get actionable. Yeah, that ARBE just keeps on hitting on my screen as well as one of the top names.
Yeah, there's a few small cappers that have been moving around. Like volume on ARB is going to approach 100 million. It's still holding underneath VWAP. It just did a rounded top off of 420. So it looks like it's coming back in underneath. I had this one short underneath 420. Couldn't break 4 even. I might jump back into it, but The new position was Boeing off of the 170 level. So if we get a double tap, I want to respect what it's been doing at this price. It just went into the $0.50, and usually we hang out here a little bit on Boeing. So it spent a lot of time 2 days ago at the 170 before eventually going like once, twice, and then didn't even get to VWAP. It gave you a couple bucks, and then did a couple more times at 170 before it got into VWAP. I want to give it an opportunity to do that for us here. So I'm going to be reloading this every chance I get in front of that 170 level on Boeing. Not a very good stock on the daily, but it's starting to look a little bit better for Boeing, holding out that 200 period moving average. So Tesla's trying to get to VWAP. It's not there just yet, but it's trying to hold out. I like 420 as a target. You're still obviously downward channel on Tesla. If it gets to VWAP and then reverts this upward trend, I would jump out of this trade. So far, so good. And I know everyone in the chat's been saying, and we are aware of it, obviously, that Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, we're located in Canada. So
he didn't resign yet, did he?
Yeah.
I didn't hear that, no.
So I saw a headline saying he's seeking to prorogue Parliament until the 24th.
What the hell does that mean? What the hell does proroguing Parliament mean?
That's all I see. And also, yeah, I've seen several headlines saying that he's going to stay on as Prime Minister, but he is quitting. He is resigning. Whether or not he said it yet, obviously we're here trading.
Right.
Like, I'm not watching Canadian news right now, and unless you're trading, maybe the Canadian dollar is making a move here, and you might care in that regard. But for the most part, it's not going to move American stocks whatsoever. Like, I can't really think of, off the top of my head, anything that would be too big of a deal here that we would actually trade. Like Shopify doesn't care.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of that. I mean, we can look at some of the different energy plays here in Canada. We talked about some of the banks maybe, but it's been well known for a minute that, his tenure is probably up. So we'll wait to see.
It's not.
Again, we've seen the Canadian dollar getting really hit as well. And I've never heard Justin Trudeau say one thing about crypto, but I'm going to hear Adara right now.
We're not going to be talking about Trudeau during this segment, though we may cover that a little bit when we talk about currency, because there's a bit of a move in the Canadian dollar. But this is quite the breakout for BTC. This is a 7-day winning streak we're on right now. I've been mentioning here, if we're not able to eclipse that lower high at around 100,000 for BTC, it might be a bit of a sketchy look, but we did eclipse that level. Not only did we eclipse it, we opened here on the day around 98,000 right now, around 101.5, above 101.5. So great look. Interestingly enough, I wanted to cover this story from Cointelegraph, basically asking a couple different AIs what their price predictions would be for Bitcoin for this year, and they're pretty interesting stuff. So we have ChatGPT predicting that Bitcoin will be at 175,000 to 350,000 by the end of the year. Perplexity, on the other hand, wider range, 75.5 to 200,000. Copilot, 175 to 350,000. So Copilot and ChatGPT the same. Ethereum, meanwhile, we had ChatGPT predicting above 6,000 for the price target. Perplexity, again, having the widest range from 2,670 to 10,000. And Microsoft's Copilot, 5,000 to 10,000. So interesting price targets from these AIs. If those are of interest, those are pretty fascinating. So we also do have, though, these crypto coins to talk about. BTC, of course, up about 4% and getting ever closer to 102,000. Ethereum near that 3,700 mark. XRP up 3%, back to being the number 3 in these coins, back above USDT. We have Solana up 4%, Dogecoin up about 2%, USDC flat here, but Avalanche up 7%, Chainlink up 4%. It's a great look if you're looking basically at anything crypto today, guys.
That's an interesting look. I mean, I'm curious as to what is driving those predictions on prices. It's probably just some basic technical
has to be something,
technical analysis that it's kind of trying to go over to give you some prices. But it's interesting and certainly a heck of a lot of fun. Bitcoin still tracking towards 102,000, so that goes up. Fubo just made let me cancel a couple orders here. Fubo just made the break toward the $4 level, holding on to VWAP. So we grabbed some at 50s. I did try to add at that 40 level that we're mentioning, but there's your wick under and try to grab it there. I think we head to 4 and then 420 next on Fubo, and then just see where it takes us. There is a halt. Thank you, Darwin. I've seen there's a lot of small cappers that are moving around, SPRC, and now this BoxL, which just went into a halt. And anytime something goes into a halt, we don't mind telling you what the theoretical auction price is. Currently flat on BoxL. 147 halts, 148, it's indicating it opened up 220%. This is the second time it's halted. That's not right. Halted more than twice. Mike, I don't know, I guess it is only twice. Okay, yeah, I just double checked up on my halt scanner. Yeah, only twice it's halted to the upside. 55 in volume. These small cappers are doing just increasingly more and more volume. And no big levels on this to watch, as it's pretty much a blue sky setup on that daily. You have to go back deep into 2023 to start to find something, and it's like 160 up here and then $2, but you're going deep to find those levels. So watch out for that 160 level on BoxL, and good luck to anybody trading in some of these small cap gappers. The market's up 1.6%, so there's plenty of longs to be had in the big cap space. And well, I mean, Fubo, I guess we've traded, but that's pretty much the only one that we're watching, small capper wise.
Yeah, like I don't really consider SMR a small cap.
Like it is, I guess. Yeah, you know what it is.
Yeah,
it is.
Maybe. Yeah, I guess it probably. Well, you know, we can check out the market cap on SMR, but right now it is trying to go back upside. So we'll hold on to it and see if it can get going. I was actually waiting at 25s to see if we can get that. That's kind of this high. We were able to buy some back there. We stuck with it. So yeah, it's been fine. You know, always could be better. Always. All right, so let's just refresh this one. I may have to go get a coffee soon because, like, or at least a water at some point. I might have to get up here in a minute. All right, there's Tether, the big mover. No, just joking around. $1, of course, there for Tether. Dogecoin 39. I got some out at 39.8 on the weekend. I actually bought some 33-cent breaks. It looks great on the chart. I'll talk about that in a minute. We're still waiting for some Cardano to get going again back there to the upside, but Chainlink was one that was excited there when she had mentioned that. SUI coin as well. Stellar Lumens there. As it becomes more, that kind of dances with Ripple as well. So watch out for some of those payment coins coming into play again there. Obi, how's it going, my guy? What is it, chilly up here? I thought you just said ooh like that. No. Okay. Obi getting ready to go.
Obi loves Doge.
Yeah. He's one of the reasons why I was looking at it. Yeah. But I bought it last at. Yeah. I bought it at 38 when this guy was calling Doge to the moon. We'll see. It's up more than that now. So you never know. I know. Yeah, exactly. What? $100. Yeah, no, that's the thing about crypto. What I'm trying to do is get out of some of these smaller coins and then get into the big guy, right? Which is going to be, of course, BTC, which right now is 102. I mean, that high of Bitcoin was what, 108 or 107 was it, I believe, at one point. So let me just have a quick little look to see what exactly. We could probably do it on a 4-hour chart because I don't think it was too long ago. There it is right there. Yeah, 108.2 and change. So again, another hold, another break. Great longs down into here. I mean, that's 50,000. But right into where we just dipped by, the 50-period moving average, 95. Great little run up right now for BTC as it continues to get a little bit higher. That, of course, is Bitcoin. So yeah, so far so good here. You know, at Trader TV, as we just continue to hold on to some of these trades. I'm waiting to get out of SMR. Yes. We don't take these kind of positions lightly. Like, you have to put your orders out. That's another lesson there that, like, I learned, especially with trading some of these little faster stocks that we look at, like an SMR, like a Fubo TV, like that ARE and things like that, ARBE, is that when you're in these trades, you got to have offers out, because if you don't have them there, sometimes and often you'll get missed on these quick little wicks. All right, Neil, what you got on your mind?
Well, you know, and where you can find some areas to get in and maybe get out of trades is going to be with a fantastic charting platform such as eSignal, allowing you to trade smarter and not harder. Right. Everyone wants to upgrade, step up their game, while upgrade to an elite trading experience with eSignal. The ability to strategize, analyze, and capitalize requires that you have access to every indicator that imaginable so that you can test strategies and find what works for you. You're going to be able to have reliable data on pretty much every single symbol and equity that you can imagine. And then with that, you're able to back test any strategy that you might have. And I think sometimes more importantly, forward test your strategy. Right? You've got the AI, which you're able to hook up to. You can automate some trading if you want to do that. And then one of my favorite features, you got the tick replay. So when a key level is trading, like an NVIDIA 149, 150 break, hey, well, what did it look like in the moment? Where should I have been getting out? Where should I throw those orders? How far do I need to cross? Where is that liquidity? You can find that all on the tick replay. So shout out to eSignal. Scan that QR code you see in front of you. Click the link in the description and elevate your trading game.
Yeah.
As you might see, I'm no longer in one of the long trades here, and that's going to be NVIDIA. So I like trend lines. I think they're a very simple thing to do.
The best.
And they did, look, ever since we bounced off VWAP the last time, I could draw this a little bit more clean, but you get the idea. We did close back underneath the trend on the 3-minute, so I jumped out here at 151.22. It doesn't mean the move is done by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm now looking for the next available dip. VWAP's going to sit at 150. That would be a great in, but it might not get all the way down there. I just want to remember, on Friday, when we had the continuation play, it did get to VWAP at about 10:30, and then it retested it back here at just 11 o'clock. I don't know if it's going to do that again, but another strong day for NVIDIA. That's what I'm going to wait for, or maybe the next eventual curl. Fubo is making its run, but it just stalled out a little bit here, just underneath the $4 level. So I'm still sitting at VWAP again, and we'll see if we can grab it a second time. Just couldn't get through $4 here on Fubo, up 157%. Yeah, this is on a daily chart. This one's ridiculous, but worth noting, there is a little bit of overhead resistance at $4. And this is it challenging it. It broke it in the pre-market, but in the open market, sometimes it can be a bit different when it gets to these, let's call them bag holder levels up at $4. Wow, when you really zoom it out, it doesn't look very good on Fubo. There, that looks much better.
Yeah.
You zoom in a little bit there. No, but that $4 level providing a little bit of resistance here for Fubo. VWAP so far working pretty well, though.
That's always what I was talking about there. I was like, why we got out of that Fubo in and around that area. It just looked a little dangerous up there in that $4 mark.
Stock is a bad girl?
Bad girl? No, not really.
Dangerous?
No. Oh, she's so
that's,
dangerous.
Who is that again?
Not Akon.
Akon?
No, I was going to say not Akon, but something like that. She's so dangerous. I don't know. Anyways, okay. So Palantir does make a move. So there it comes, man. We are now pretty much out of this name. Pick the bottom, $77 up to $79.50. So a good take there, obviously, on Palantir as we're just going to get lighter and lighter. Neil just sort of went over his play there on NVIDIA, so that makes a lot of sense to me there as well. But it's Sector Watch with Darren. I'm going to go get another coffee.
What we're going to do here is take a look at these sectors. The NASDAQ, of course, really strong, and you can see a lot of these tech sectors leading the way. Electronic technology going to be on watch all week here. Not only did we start with a strong catalyst with FOXCONN's record Q4 revenue, but it's also worth noting here in this space, we do have CES 2025, tech-based conference. That's going to certainly be on watch here. NVIDIA, AMD, Broadcom, Qualcomm all strong this morning. Now on the technology services side, all three Mag 7s in the sector, Microsoft, Meta, and especially Google, strongly to the upside. Retail trade, same kind of look. Amazon leading this group. So a lot of these Mag 7 are really leading the way. Tesla's still up about 1%, a little bit weaker than some of its peers other than Apple, but consumer durables looking great here. Finance, very strong. Producer manufacturing, strong. Energy, really strong. Oil, certainly on watch here. Process industries on watch. Transportation, uber strong. The rest of this group a little bit weaker. But there is some weakness in this market as well. Consumer non-durables, health technology both struggling, and then commercial services, utilities, communications all going to be red pretty much across the board. Back to you.
Yeah, a little disappointing Uber, I'd have to say. There's just no buyers above 68. This was my concern with the stock. It's just you gapped up on that buyback news, and then you pull it up on the daily chart here. Like there's your prior support at 68. That's what I would have liked to see hold after the open. Instead, you reject that 50 period on the daily, and you're kind of bleeding. When the market's up and higher lows all the way through, all you got is a series of lower highs. So I think maybe wait for it to fill in the gap. And the other name that looks incredibly, you know what, that's not the right word. I almost said incredibly weak, but looks weak, is Tesla. And we had Tesla in here. Ultimately, the early trades will be the losers, but like this one ends up being technically a winning trade, but no follow through. I'm looking to go step one and then just let's power into 420. Doesn't happen here on Tesla. We had that 415 long. Still looking a little bit weak there on Tesla. I think you got to be a little bit careful. I'm out of NVIDIA now, looking for that next available dip. It could be into that original breakout high. That was 150 and a third. There's VWAP in here underneath 150. I don't know that I want to take a top break this late in the early session. I think we wait for this one to come back into us here. Boeing still holding 170. Fubo, I think, pulling back into VWAP again as we speak. Go ahead and cancel that. When we tried VWAP the first time, didn't work. Second time worked like a charm. We just need to break out that $4 level. So I like the higher lows. If it breaks trend again, I think it's fine, at least back into 3. But I'd be a little bit cautious at VWAP. Let it maybe rinse VWAP like this kind of a candle, where you get a pullback into VWAP, get a few longs out, some weak hands, and then try to jump back into it. I like this one for a potential trend to the upside almost all day. Top VoIP, shout out to you in the chat. Oklo on the move. We know that these look, it's both been the nuclear names, and like Oklo, and then some of the quantum names as well have been going, and we don't necessarily cover them all. You try to cover the ones that you're trading, so respect to Oklo. It is on an upward trend. It is breaking that, hopefully breaking that $30 level, as it's now through some fresh highs. So you do have that group looking relatively strong, at least here today. I haven't really checked back on IonQ, but SMR, I know SMR is doing well. Oklo up 10%, and it's through its 52-week high, that triple top. Looking fantastic.
Yeah, SMR right now, 22.50s. We almost got $1. We got 90 cents. We are holding $7 in the money right now. We have 250. I don't know. Obi's going to talk about his Palantir trade. I think he was probably short. But Obi, we're long $77 right now on Palantir. He left too much on the table. Yeah, okay. We'll talk about that with Obi in about 15 minutes. But I know he traded Palantir today. Palantir, combined with Obi and myself, Palantir will be P&L number 1 today. But NVIDIA, for myself personally, will be P&L number 1. So we're just getting some more out right now as we just start to barcode right here. Again, Rigetti's a great, I mean, Fubo, that Boeing down there at 170, fantastic. Fubo trying to go. I think Neil mentioned that $4 level. I think that's going to be pretty key. We have a very, very small amount on that one. A recent buy of ours, of course, in our own personal account was Uber, and this name finally starting to go back up. I mean, a great level there. We got like some $60.80, something like that. We also have some 62s when it was coming back in, and then we had some 72s. I think if you guys remember, that was like our first buy, which was bad, and then it just broke back in. And we were doing the same kind of things on Uber, where I just thought dip buy into this area was a buy. Then it broke, and then we got something in around maybe it wasn't 62s, maybe it was 64s or so. Got some probably in and around there. Then we got some around 60 waiting in the longer term. So we were, willing to let this try to fly a little bit there. But right now, Uber not doing too much here today, a little bit under the weather, actually, underneath the 200 period moving averages. The NASDAQ says, hold my beer into this new year again. Alibaba, just trying to find something that may be relatively weak. We did have those Chinese tariffs. By the way, everything's really starting to go, man. SMR is really, really taking off right now. So there goes SMR. And again, it just took us a minute, right? We had written down 22.50 on here, but took the bath right here. They're like, wow, all right, props it up. But took the bath when it breaks right there, but then buy it back into past support and then hit the 10% upside now for SMR as that continues to go higher and higher and higher. So thank everybody for watching. Thank everybody for hitting the like and the subscribe. We have over 1.4K right now with still 9,200 of you watching. So get that like button if you haven't done it yet. Thank you so much for all of the support. I'll have negative name here on Tesla. Wish we hadn't. We had chased that one early. We have left it alone, letting it settle down because I feel like we've got already what's been, I'm going to get another piece right here. Already what's pretty good. We've got NVIDIA on our mind, Palantir, SMR, and Fubo. So they're all kind of printing for us a little bit.
Yeah, the longs are definitely printing out here. I want to shout out to Red. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you here. With a question, any robotics names ahead of CES to watch? I'll have to admit, I don't off the top of my head. I can't think of one. We'll keep our ear to the ground. Obviously, there's only one robotics name that I know I'm invested in, and that's Tesla for Optimus. So that said, I think there is probably going to be a few of the bigger names as well in the Mag 7 that will end up in that space. But we'll keep our ear to the ground. CES is going to be a great catalyst, I think, all week long, though you're probably not in the heart of it until after today. So we'll keep our ear to the ground, as I said, and maybe we'll look and crowdsource it a bit. We have a fantastic community of traders, and I know as I'm talking about it, people are going to say names like Serve. Serve, I know, was a good trading stock. I don't know too much about Serve. RR is another good one. Shout out to Ramin, and thank you for everyone in the chat mentioning that. And that's what's the best thing about our community. You know, you can't be an expert on everything, but believe me, we have knowledge across the board. We got options traders in here. We have a lot of crypto traders as well. You're going to get options, Joey options, in just a few minutes here. But I want to jump back to crypto for a second, because this Bitcoin move, while not bad, is starting to do a little bit of a curl back through 102. So you've got the first, on a 15-minute, you have the first red candle emerging here on BTC. And it is worth noting, I still have this breakout set on Mara if it could have got through 2070. But Mara doesn't seem to want to go. So as you were just saying, you were looking for some weak names. Well, up 3%, it's hard to call a stock weak. But if Bitcoin's breaking out and this is failing that high, and 2070 is the breakout on the 15-minute, I got to start to look at this one potentially underneath VWAP. If Bitcoin does make a pullback and retest 100,000, then I should be looking shorts on Mara, unfortunately. If it's not going to go, then sometimes you have to look for the next available trade, which could be a flat bottom break here at that $20 level. It's going to have to check back in on NVIDIA.
It was right the first
Still, I don't know what to tell you. Like NVIDIA, for all the rocket ship, it's now, since breaking the trend, it's just gone sideways for 15 minutes here. I'm still looking for a dip after that out. It just hasn't happened. Fubo still looking pretty solid. I don't think we want to jump away from this just yet. It's still holding a higher low after that rounded bottom, but this 4 to 420 level, that's a bit of an issue. Like this is where it failed right going into the open. So if it breaks this out and fails at 420, I think I'm going to want to jump out of that trade. But for now, looking pretty good there on Fubo. Boeing, pretty much the same thing. 170, as I said before, last week it held 170 for a while. Like it would spend time down here before bouncing. So I want to give it that time to make a bit of a move to the upside. Okay, Adara, time for a little money talks. I'm curious to see how the old Canadian dollar is doing.
Oh man, maybe you're not.
It should be good.
Don't worry, Neil, the Canadian dollar will be discussed, but we're going to talk about the DXY first. We do have, it's becoming clear, extreme support on the daily chart of the DXY around that 107.75 area, so just below 108. And I say that because, as you can see here, we had this big drop on the DXY set for our second red day in a row, but bit of a bottoming tail candle as of right now, so keep an eye on that 107.75. Should that ever break on the DXY, that could be a bit of an interesting level. We know we did have some Fed talk this morning from Fed's Cook, moving the market a little bit down pre-market, basically talking about how there will have to be some caution with regards to the speed and the intensity of these rate cuts. Again, this is nothing new. Fed Chair Powell said it. We had the guidance as well during that December 18th FOMC meeting. And we also had some Fed speak over the weekend from Daly and Kugler saying basically the same thing. But either way, Fed's Cook's comments did initially drive the market a little bit lower. So be aware, some inflationary concerns still on watch. Now, though, we will talk about the long-awaited CAD to USD. Lots of reports here that Justin Trudeau is going to be stepping down from his position as the Prime Minister of Canada. A couple different people on watch to take that position. I'm seeing some reports it could be Chrystia Freeland, Dominic LeBlanc, or a former Bank of Canada Governor Mark Carney. So this is all, Canadian stuff, but that's something to watch out for. Depending on who that pick is, it could move the CAD to the USD. The other big catalyst here is that we will actually have Prime Minister Justin Trudeau apparently with his press conference starting 10:45 a.m. Eastern. If I see anything coming out of that, I will let you guys know. Back to you.
I think one thing to remember with what's going on here north of the border is, like Trudeau and the Liberals, we don't want to get into politics too much, but Trudeau and the Liberals we're predicted to lose anyways if there's an election this year. So I think some of it might already be priced in when you look at some of these other names in here. So NVIDIA just broke back in toward the high. Remember, 152.89 is the all-time high on NVIDIA. That's the ultimate. I think we can probably get there today. So it's now trying to break back in through that top. I'm jumping over if we don't get the dip that we want. I don't know what the heck is going on with AMD, but this is under VWAP and looking relatively weak. If NVIDIA does not give us the dip and does not hold that high break, AMD under VWAP looks like a short. And I still have the breakout set on Intel. I don't know if we're going to get it, but that one is still set out. Boeing now starting to make its run to the upside for me. And Tesla trying to climb above VWAP as we speak as well.
Just congratulations to everybody. We finally got a coffee, so we'll hit some Hydration Nations. This SMR. I mean, right now, Palantir is ripping. Like, we're $3 in the money now on Palantir as it tries to get higher through 80 bucks. I mean, the break is there. We had broken on Friday. Well, we
didn't break on Friday. We didn't break on Friday.
Looking right here, we had come all this way on Friday. We'll wait to see. I mean, it might be worth a punch long. I mean, it's just really going here, PLTR. Bro, do we want to do it? I mean, I have to change my stop.
I know. I had the stop order set for this one on all day, well, half the day on Palantir, and it just never went. And it is what it is. Like, you can't, oh, wait a minute, it just went. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
I was about to show you guys what happened on Palantir on Friday, but we'll give it back into prior high. So Palantir has now broken. Here, let me get my stop order in, and then I can show you what happened on Friday. Like, this was Friday on Palantir. The half of the day, it held the $80 level. I don't know what to tell you. So it's a bit of a supply zone in there. If it can sustain the breakout, great. I have it into the prior bar high, and we'll see if it can go. There's still a bit of a gap fill from here to 81, which I think would be the next level of resistance on PLTR. So it does break today, but it only went a couple pennies. I think I got 01s and it went to 06. So far that's as far as it goes. We'll give it a little bit of room here. Elon, shout out to you as well. And I'm pretty sure, Rivian Millionaire, you meant NVIDIA, not ENVA.
ENVA. What's ENVA doing?
No, he meant NVIDIA.
Yeah, I know. That's $3 right now. Yeah, what's up, Rivian Millionaire and everybody else? We have NVIDIA right now. By the way, it's not... There's so many shows today. It's the SMR show. It's the Palantir show. It's the NVIDIA show. It's the Fubo show right now. Like, every position we have on right now is pretty pumping, and the market just continues to go higher. I mean, if you're looking at the NASDAQ, we still have more room to go. That's 22,000, 22.1 maybe is where we stop. I think you got like another 30 or 40 handles upside here in the NASDAQ, and then maybe you take a little bit of a break on where you're going. But yeah, we had written it down here. Palantir right now is just going off. It's really been quite a stock. We talked about that. But right here, NVIDIA, we wrote down 152, right? 152 for the 52-week high. I have it as the close. I mean, intraday, I think Neil's probably going to be right. 152.89. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, wicked up to there. So we'll wait. That's still Palantir. I'm only giving this to 50. If we break, there we go. We'll take an average in here. If we break down below 50, then we're gone on PLTR. We're not going to give back what we made on this name. So we'll wait to see what happens with Palantir. A little bit of a dip buy opportunity into 79.50. We're getting out if that does not hold. So that's my adventure here on Palantir. We already have the perfect bottom. We're not going to ruin it by trying to pick now potentially a falling sword, and we've already seen it fail off that 50 level or that 80 level. So we've seen it. Yeah, NVIDIA, nice fail off of 152, but only down 10 cents. We'll have to wait to see. We're long NVIDIA 149. So for right now, it's a good long there. It's a good long in SMR and Fubo. I think maybe at $4 is worth getting out. So I have an offer there at $3.90.
It's starting to slow down on Fubo a little bit here. Shout out to L in the chat. Can you look again at Rigetti? Yeah, not looking very good for Rigetti. It didn't hold the $20 level, so this was sometimes the trend line breaks, and it's like, oh, you should have just gone short there. But I would venture that if every single time you reversed a good long on a trend break like this, then you'd be short NVIDIA too, because that was exactly the same setup. Big breaker, higher lows, broke trend, and NVIDIA continues. So you can't necessarily know. You just got to stick to it. Was I bullish on the stock? Well, Rigetti's now under VWAP and not looking very good. It's filling in the gap big time. Still, the stock is still green, but I cannot like what I see in this quantum name. If you look over at some of the others, IonQ as well, that's losing VWAP. So you're seeing a little bit of a trend reverse on the quantum names as they're starting to head back in to said downside. Maybe IonQ's actually holding up a little bit better, still above prior highs, but Rigetti's certainly taking it on the chin. Qubit, QUBT as well. The Hawk, Dave Rigetti pitched for the Yanks. Yeah, you're right. But also it's a quantum stock as well. So Dave Rigetti, if you ever want to stump people with a trivia question, then I'm pretty sure he's the only person in MLB history to at one time have the single season save record and also had thrown a no-hitter. So he was the starting pitcher who threw a no-hitter and then eventually was one of the best closers in the game. Pretty sure no one else has done that. Although I don't remember if Smoltz has a no-hitter. But he never had the saves record.
Right, Smoltz.
He had more saves.
You're saying the same year, you're saying?
No, I just mean at the same time. Like when he held the saves record for a single season, he also had thrown a no-hitter. And I'm not a Yankee fan. I just happen to know some random baseball stuff. I actually don't like the Yankees.
I saw Neil got out earlier as well. We'll fail on the 80 break there of Palantir. Like, it came in, we tried 50s. We'll give back, and this is what we do on the show. We'll give back 20% of what we made. So that kind of sucks because we did try it on a break of 80, then an average in right there. But like we said, though, you never want to turn a good idea into a L. So we'll hold off on Palantir and just hope for better trades ahead, including some possible dip buy opportunities, I'm guessing right there with only 2 minutes to go. We just got out some more NVIDIA, but our best out is 151.60. So we did make that mistake of not getting out on the high side. All right, I've liked Intel in and around this $20 mark. It is falling back in. Could be a name to look out for here on the midday show, as Intel right now looking like a downside push, red for INTC. So in the wake,
AMD doesn't look good either.
Yeah, as I was going to say, in the wake of the CES and everybody looking for big names, it seems like the biggest and the baddest, NVIDIA would be the one right now. You had mentioned Micron, though, before, Neil, could possibly have been a runner as well.
Micron is one of those today.
Yeah, it was up 10 points, wasn't it, at one point?
Well, it is up 11 now. Like, it's just, there's a distinct difference between a lot of these chip names, right? Like, Micron's having a good day. I know we haven't talked too much about how this all started, because it all really started with FOXCONN and then ASML, which trades in Europe, so they were the first ones up. That's going to drag, we only have 1 minute to go.
Yeah.
That's going to drag names like AMAT to the upside, although it's pulling back. But I can't get over it. You said Intel, but look at AMD. Are you kidding me? Like, AMD's about to break the low of the day when the market and all the other chips are at the highs. I mean, you almost have to look at this for a short trade at some point. Like, if we get if I get a trend break on NVIDIA, then I got to look short on AMD. It is 11 o'clock.
Wow.
We got a special treat for you guys. Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. Fubo.
Joining Options Joe or Joey Options on the midday. It is going to be Learn to Trade, and it is Obi joining him. So we got Obi. Should be lots of banging opportunities with lots of small cappers running to the upside today. Just be careful with some of these chip names making a curl. There's some strong, some weak. Make sure you're buying strong stocks and shorting weak ones. That's the idea. And we'll be back at 2. Go get them, boys.
Let's go down to Fubo.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is your boy Joe, and that is Obi, our guy. Our second time actually getting to work together.
Yeah.
Which is